cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. That's doihaveprediabetes.org.
Wait, did they just say 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes? That's 33.33333% of adults. That means it could be me, my boss, or my boss's boss, or me, my favorite sister, or my other sister. That's 7 members of my 21-person romantic book club. Wait, the 1 in 3 could be me, my karaoke partner Carol, or my karaoke enemy Jeff. I'm going to take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
You're home to the NFL. WGSX Lynn Haven. WVLQ Port St. Joe. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Are you ready?
Okay, let's begin.
Drip. The Afternoon Underdog Trip. Live and local. Inside the Talk House.
Unleash the dragon.
On the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
What's going on, Northwest Florida? You are now riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. We're on 104.3 here in Panama City and 101.9 in Port St. Joe. You're in the doghouse, and we've got a little action of some Township Tuesday. What's it been, about a year? You can't hear it all?
I couldn't hear him.
Okay, yeah. No, I gotta go. I'm gonna go and turn you up here in a second. What, Tyler? How long do you think it's been since Township Tuesday?
Barrett was saying since October. It sounds about right. I know we kind of started the Tuesday thing, and y'all have Barrett to blame for me being on here every Tuesday now, having to listen to my nonsense. But then he had some softball stuff come up with his kids, and he had to leave us for a while. But he's back in town, back in town for Tuesday. And,
oh man, so everything been good with you, Barrett? What's been going on with your young ladies, your daughter's softball?
Oh man, we just got done doing the World Series a couple weeks ago over at Frank Brown in the sports complex. It's hard to win the World Series around here.
Yeah.
Both of the girls did really, really good. A couple home runs from each one of the kids, a couple wins, a couple losses, and now it's the 2-week break where I give them complete just be a kid.
Yeah.
Go have some fun. We went on vacation to Tennessee. They're with my parents right now having some fun on the water slide, and then when we get back, it's back on the grind next week.
There you go. Put them right back, nose to the grind. So when they get back,
like the 10th or something like that too.
We don't talk about school.
Oh, okay.
we don't talk about school, man.
Yeah, it starts on the 10th. Ben, actually, my youngest one, just had evaluations for Lynn Haven Rec League. Luckily, he gets to play on a friend of the show, Mr. Tim Reed.
Oh, yeah,
nice. So he's get to be on the White Sox this year.
Yeah, that's awesome stuff, man. So, in Florida Elite.
Oh, yeah. Got to represent. Got lucky. Both of them, Abigail still gets to play 10U. Autumn has the chance to play 8U, but we went ahead and moved up to 10U, so both kids will be on the same team, same field. So me and my wife will not be on different fields on every Saturday and Sunday.
That's exciting. And you know what? Another factor there, I guess I would say, is that not only do you guys get to kind of watch the games together, but it's not like, Autumn gets knocked out early. Her team got knocked out early, and she's just got to sit. It's like, once you're done at that point. Let's pack up and go on home.
That is the beauty of having them both on the exact same team. We either get to play in the championship together, or we're going to get bounced out early and both leave at the same time.
But you're leaving at the same time. 850-215-6290. We're looking for calls and texts throughout the day. Today we will be playing. High-low today. The blast at Bay Point today at 5:40. We're looking for caller number 10 at 5:40 this afternoon. We're kind of all over the map right now, but we're getting a little bit closer. When you hear the cue to call, be caller number 10 at 850-215-6290. If you guess the number correctly, you and a guest win 18 holes at Bay Point Golf Club. If you don't get the number correctly, you still get a consolation prize, provided that you haven't won one yet while we have been playing the blast at Bay Point, which is a large bucket of balls on the driving range. So make sure you guys are paying attention today at 5:40. If we don't have a winner today, your next opportunity will be at 8:40 in the morning.
You know who I think needs to win that? think Jordan needs to win that. He needs a lot of practice.
There you go.
I think he should win that. Maybe he can actually shoot above Paul for once.
Well, speaking of things that you guys can win, a little fantasy football. We've opened up the registration. All you got to do is send your name and your email over to 850-215-6290 and just say that you're available. Let us know that you're available for August 26th at 11 a.m. We're going to be out there at Dave & Buster's for our live draft. I've got over 12 registrants already, so keep them rolling in. We're trying to get to 3 leagues this year outside of the Champions League, which I believe... Oh, no, you're not.
I won the big one.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt. He won the big one, the Boomer Bust League, the little personal league that we got
the
going.
Nice belt one.
Yeah, man. We are going to have to bring that championship belt in.
I was hoping that I could get it so I could bring it in and, show Max. I forget, what place did Max come in?
I want to say it's,
it starts
we've
with
got
an
10.
L.
Exactly. There's 10 people in the league, and I would venture to say he was one below 9.
Oh, man. I think you're about right on that one.
Well, speaking of last place, so these are our trophies that we give out for first and last place. And there's also a fella in this room who finished in last place.
Oh, you're looking at the wrong
in the
person.
league, in the league
First, might as
last
well
year.
get last and get the trophy, right?
So, Tyler, that is the back of the horse, rear of the pack for you. I didn't even remember that until I was going through all the statistics the other day, and boom, I'm like, oh man, we had Boston Tim finish in last. We had Tyler Bishop finish in last, and now we've got another last place. But it's not on the ESPN Northwest Florida. But
well, it's not surprising that Boston Tim and I both got last because our draft started off very similar. I remember the draft, I was like, oh, I think we both got Swift, Zeke, and Alvin Kamara, I think.
Yeah.
And it just did not pan out very well. It was worth boomer bust, I think. But
that's fantasy football, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You feel like you had a great draft, and then oh man,
what in the world happened?
Yeah.
Especially when that injury bug starts biting, and we're definitely going to be diving into more fantasy stuff. Maybe not so much today. We'll try to get into that in hour number 2. At the top of hour number 2, I'm David Hayes along with Tyler Bishop. We've got Barrett Townsend in for the Township Tuesday. We also have Max Delighted in the building. Delighted to have
my
Delighted.
best friend.
Oh yeah,
we have become best friends.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
we're
guys,
best friends, man.
y'all have started agreeing
like the
on
stepbrothers
things.
now.
Yeah, it's kind of like
It's weird though when we
It's
agree on stuff. It's like World War III. Like why are we
World
agreeing on
peace.
something?
and
right
everyone
now?
else disagrees too. It seems like you know what I mean.
That's
It's like
weird.
y'all two versus the world at that point.
Me and my rational friend here.
I'm telling you.
there we go.
I've been trying to get him to play basketball with me. He's just a busy man selling all these
I'll
homes
play.
and everything like that.
You're looking leaner though since I saw you.
I appreciate that, man. I had to get a little lean to
That's
get
the
the
one
belt fit
compliment
and
I'm going to
everything
give
like
you.
that.
Oh, we could be in for a wild ride this afternoon. So if you'd like to take part in it, follow us on Facebook. Just go to ESPN Northwest Florida. You could check out YouTube as well. And we're also on 104.3 here in Panama City, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. Lots of things going on in the sports world today. Not so much of a dull day as what we've had in some days of the past, as far as news go and not actual sports. I think the biggest, let's start with this. I think the biggest piece of news right now is, one of the bigger pieces of news is Bronny James collapsing at practice, and the USC medical team was able to get him in. Get the job done.
Yeah.
And so just right now, thoughts and prayers going out to the LeBron James family, Bronny James, and all of that good stuff. Regardless of what you think that could have led to all of this, it's still not a great situation. So just thoughts and prayers there. And then in the other news, in the NFL world, a couple of pieces of news, actually quite a few pieces of news, but the big one though, right? Saquon Barkley signing that 1-year deal. So the franchise tag is a 1-year deal, and he was going to get what, $10.01 something million a year. Instead, they adjust the franchise tag to make it 10.1 fully guaranteed, 10.1 million, that's fully guaranteed, and it can move up to 11 with incentives, and also adjusted to have a $2 million signing bonus added there. First things first here. I mean, all right, so Saquon Barkley was just on a Zoom meeting, what was it, Sunday evening, with all of these other running backs that are kind of, trying to look out for each other. Yeah. And then here we are, not even a full 48 hours later, and he's already kind of he signed a deal. So who won this, the Giants or Saquon Barkley?
Giants all day.
Giants.
Yeah. I mean, the
Not
Giants,
even close?
Yeah, I mean, go ahead, Max. Tyler.
He's getting he's basically getting
Whichever one was talking.
Go ahead, guys.
I'm trying to be nice over here, man.
He's basically getting no new money. I mean, the incentive he can earn. I mean, that's the only new money on the deal. He's getting $2 million as a signing bonus as opposed to getting it over the course of the contract because the franchise tag is fully guaranteed as well. Mm-hmm. So he was making the $10.1 million regardless. The $909,000 as the incentive. Like if he hits those incentives, it's probably worth it for the Giants to pay him that extra money. He's not getting any extra years. He's getting a little bit under $1 million extra. So, and if it makes him happy, then the Giants get a win out of this because he's their best offensive weapon.
And the biggest thing is they're not using the franchise tag on him this year.
Right.
So they can use it for 2 more years if they really want to. And that by that time, running backs are pretty much done. They'll be about, 28, 29 at that point?
Yeah, I mean, and I think you got to be a beast, not just swifty, not shifty. I think you got to be, you got to be a Derrick Henry in a sense to get past that third. And we don't even know what Derrick Henry is going to bring to the table this year. Right. That could be all the way downhill. We'll find out when we get into the season. But like you mentioned, that's the biggest issue to me. Like if I'm Saquon Barkley and I'm making all of these comments about I'm going to sit out all of this, I don't want to be on the franchise tag. And if it comes down to money, that is what it is. Maybe he looked a little greedy. Maybe the media kind of made him look greedy with this whole situation and he didn't want to look that way. But at the end of the day, you have just taken yourself out of the franchise tag world and allowed yourself to be tagged next year, especially if you don't live up to these incentives. And basically you're making the same exact thing and the Giants have control over you to a degree for 2 more years. So it was puzzling, especially when they have this meeting in order to create more value there for the running back position. Whereas in a sense, it just seemed like Saquon got a deal and did what was best for the Giants, which at the end of the day, if you're the owner, you look at that and you're like, hey, great football player. That's going to help you in the contract discussion for next year, possibly. Yeah.
Maybe, and maybe I'm the only one that known that, but I didn't know that once you got franchise tagged and the deadline was up to extend and everything like that, I didn't know you could sign a contract after that.
I think it's not that you can't sign a contract. You can't sign a long-term extension. Okay. I think that's what it boils down to. Because I was trying to, when I first saw that this morning, I'm like, well, first off, we're not talking about very much more money here, right? So this is kind of odd. And then secondly, I was like, well, what was all of this? Why were they making such a big deal about not being able to sign a deal after this certain date? And essentially it made us think, or at least it made me think, he's got to play,
he's under the tag for the rest of the season.
Yeah, exactly.
You either play on the tag or you don't. That was my impression once the deadline went away. But I guess Schefter posted that it's a very, very rare thing that ever happens, and I can honestly remember last time it happened.
What are you thinking about all of this, Max?
I mean, it's a great deal for the Giants. To echo them, I mean, you're going to get the mileage out of the guy that you needed, and if $909,000 in incentives is really going to be the
kicker,
the kicker, and they're all very attainable incentives.
Yeah,
they fit everything the Giants do, even the 65 receptions, and you're able to tag him next year. It's a total win for the Giants and Dable.
And not only is it a huge win for the Giants, but the Giants without Saquon Barkley, this is where I kind of battle myself on the whole thing. We were talking about this on the Inside Drive as well this afternoon, was that are the Giants even, what does their season look like last year without a Saquon Barkley? Is everyone talking about, wow, look at the progress Daniel Jones has made. Oh, look how good of a head coach Brian Daboll is. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Are we even having these type of discussions? Are we even worried about how Ken Dorsey did with the Bills if the Giants don't have the success that they've had, and are they having that success without Saquon Barkley? Because I think of course the man's got talent out of this world, but then secondarily speaking, his name recognition is going to draw defenses towards him.
1,000%. I mean, Daniel Jones is, in my opinion, a very below, at the best, average quarterback. And his stats will pretty much prove it. I think he had, 17 touchdowns last year, passing-wise. So without Saquon Barkley, there's no offense over there whatsoever. He is the offense. He's the best running back. He's the best receiver. And pretty much just the best player on the whole offense together.
Yeah, I mean, they've made some moves now. You got Waller over there. Their wide receiver depth is deeper than what it was last year. I think that's pretty easy to say. What do you think, though, Tyler? When it comes down to last year without Saquon Barkley, are we having these discussions about the Giants being even a chance to win the NFC East?
I mean, probably not. I mean, just kind of what y'all have already said, the way he catches the ball in the backfield, the attention he brings, and just the stuff that he can do. There's a reason why he was taken in the top 5 in a time where the running back position, like everybody talks about how bad it is, and he still went 2 overall, something like that, 3.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's just physically as gifted as it comes when it comes to that position. Just, I mean, maybe in a different way than a guy like Derrick Henry, but still as physically gifted as you can really be. And I mean, there's a reason why people were surprised he didn't get paid more. And I think he could have gotten this deal on a multi-year deal before the franchise tag if he had been okay with it.
And they were offering him $13 or $14 million between all of this, but the issue was that it didn't have enough guaranteed money for him.
It reminds me of the Niners situation with John Lynch getting Debo to stay. He's just kind of a staple in that offense where he's a huge crutch for, like Barrett said, a below average, maybe average quarterback at his ceiling. And he doesn't get that payday without Saquon. So I think it's just crucial for them, especially with a guy who doesn't have a good deep ball.
I'm Daniel Jones. I'm tossing in like 1.5 my own money just to keep on.
Hey, for real,
I got $160 million. I mean, come on. I'll give you $15 million just to stay.
I know we just signed a deal, but let's restructure this thing, man. I'll do whatever I got to do to get some good people around me. Go ahead, Ben.
I do wonder if it's maybe like a hush-hush type of thing, that if him signing and agreeing to this deal, that maybe they had like a closed-door conversation like, hey, I'm going to agree to this deal, but you can't franchise tag me next year.
Yeah, but see, that could have been on the table anyways, though, and they could have had that clause removed from the contract. But that is still in the. It does not include, according to Schefter, a no franchise tag clause for next year. So that's what's so odd to me is like, well, what in the world? And then you look at the other running back that's kind of been a part of all of this speculation, and that's Josh Jacobs, and he's not reporting to camp for the first day of Raiders training camp, and he cannot be fined either for missing time in training camp because he doesn't have that signed contract. Does this deal change things for how Josh Jacobs is going to operate? I don't think either one of these guys can sit here and take an actual year off. I don't think it'll be great for him. Well, what do you guys think? Josh Jacobs.
In my opinion, this ain't a Le'Veon Bell thing. You can't sit out a whole year and then come back and get a multi-year deal. I think not many people really honestly want to report to Raiders camp anyways. To be 100% honest, especially with Jimmy G as your quarterback.
Yeah.
I think. But I think this will kind of help Jacobs maybe in the next week or so. Maybe he'll sign kind of the same type of deal, maybe like a 1-year deal with the same amount of money, maybe just more incentive.
Yeah, good. Give us we're going to dive right back to that. Travis, you're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. What's going on, bud?
Hey, so I just tuned in, and I saw the good news today maybe good news. I just want to see what y'all thought about it. That the Saints just signed
Jimmy Graham back. You think that's good news?
I didn't even know he was still playing.
Right, he didn't play last year. He was with the Bears for 2020
I had to
and then
double
2000.
look. I'm like, I know he played for the Bears, but I couldn't remember.
Yeah, he played 2020 and 2021 with the Bears, and then last year he was out of football.
Was he a free agent?
To me, it just seems like one of those, and I can't remember how much it is that they're paying him, but it's like Jimmy Graham's going to be. Well, no, he's going to be retiring before the season with the Saints. Like that's what it kind of feels like. But I mean, so how do you feel about it, Travis? Why does what about this signing makes you excited?
Well, I mean,
just the past, right?
Yeah, I know he's older, and maybe he's gone down some, but at the same time, he's back home. I mean, this is where he was his best, in my opinion. I mean, he was all right with Seattle and all that, but this is where he was his best to me.
No, he definitely was his best, but he also had Drew Brees. He's got Derek Carr now.
Yeah, it's a little different. It's a little different. But he's also, what's he, 36 years old now?
36
I believe.
Years old.
So I don't know. It's a tough position, but hey, if he has a great year, he could be making more than some running backs next year.
I honestly thought it was, when I read it, I thought it was he signed like a 1-day deal to retire as a Saint. I was like, there's no way that's an actual 1-year deal.
Derek Carr's Drew Brees 2.0.
Oh. Whoa.
That's a take. That is a take.
It's a take.
You might get Drew Brees out of retirement with that.
Yeah, for real.
I think me and Max are about to agree on something again.
Right. I mean, come on. Drew Brees, especially if you talk about, pound for pound as they do in boxing, Drew Brees has got to be the best quarterback of all time when you're going pound for pound. Or inch by inch, I guess, when it comes to his height there. What was he, 5'9"? If that?
They gave him a gentleman's 5'11".
Yeah.
They gave him a gentleman's 5'11"? All right.
Just tall enough to see over the line of scrimmage.
5'11" in cleats, though, which I think makes it even more so impressive.
I mean, he looked taller than Kyler. And
yeah.
They give Kyler 5'11".
Yeah. They got to stretch those rulers out just a little bit. Travis, we're up against a break. Thanks so much for the call, my man, and hopefully Jimmy Graham works out great for the Saints.
I'm hoping so.
All right, man. Tyler was with us here this last Friday. All right, we're going to get riding to a break, but not before I tell you guys about fantasy football. Send your name, send your email, and send. Just tell me that you're available for August 26th, 11 a.m. It's going to be a live draft at Dave & Buster's, and you're not going to want to miss it. We're going to be right back with your Mortgage Minute with Max.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The Afternoon Underdogs.
That's going to be the toughest award to get, is the AFC MVP, just with Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, of course, Patrick Mahomes. The list goes on and on. But if they have the type of a jump, or if Trevor Lawrence has a big enough jump to get into that MVP conversation, let alone win the MVP, the Jaguars are definitely going to win.
4 to 6 weekdays. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Tuesday's weather forecast. Partly cloudy the rest of the day with temps near 89 and a wind between 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear skies tonight, a calm wind and a temperature of 80. About the same tomorrow, around 90 with mostly sunshine and a wind at 5 miles per hour out of the west-southwest. Hot with a high around 90 and mostly sunny Thursday. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Are you tired of hearing 2 weeks when you call to get your boat worked on? Hey folks, it's Chris Kramer with Kramer Marine and Outdoor, and we'll get you in and back out on the water as quick as possible. We're a full-line Yamaha outboard dealer and Suzuki outboard dealer, and we have master-trained certified mechanics on site. So if it's just an annual service, electronics install, trolling motor install, or all the way up to a full repower, we can take care of you. So stop by and see us in the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd next to Bill Kramer GM, or call us at 850-851-0453.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Karen bought 83 liters of Dr. Thunder, a suitcase full of Cheez-Its, and a drum of Crisco. Now she's crying about using the self-check at Walmart.
Maybe we should speak to a manager or something.
Just saying. ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back. It's the Afternoon Underdogs, and you're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. We're on 104.3 here in Panama City, 101.9 in Port St. Joe, and you can call or text us at 850-215-6290. And if you're interested in playing some fantasy football, send your name, your email, and that you will be available August 26th at 11 a.m. This is your Mortgage Minute with Max Delight. And Max, what's going on, my friend?
Hey.
Big news here for the MLS, or not big news, but a big debut for the MLS. Lionel Messi, or Leo Messi. We're going to give him his Americanized name here. Leo Messi made his debut with a free kick goal and possibly going to become the captain for Inter Miami. What took so long with that one there?
I mean, I guess it's weird coming in to a new team, but he's so much better than everyone.
Yeah.
By a lot, so I mean, it makes sense. But he can't speak English. So.
How long was he? I was going to say on the field for. How long was he on the pitch for?
About like 30 minutes.
30 minutes, yeah. Like of actual like game time.
But they just subbed him in for and
right.
Made the game-winning free kick. His time was expiring.
Like, is it that easy to tell? Like, even though some of the better players for both teams at that point are kind of gassed, but like, is it just that easy to see without? I mean, I guess it would be like watching LeBron in another league, or like put LeBron in college, where even if he has a bad day,
he'd still be the best.
Just because of what he's done in the past, you'd be like, oh, I mean, it's LeBron James. So, like, can you tell off rip that Leo's just better than everyone?
Yeah, his touch is so much better.
Yeah.
He's just better at every aspect of soccer for the most part. It's pretty cool what Inter Miami's doing because the MLS as a whole still isn't a really good product to watch. Like, I love soccer, and you don't see me like tuning in for a random MLS weekday game. But they have like mini Barcelona going on there. They've got Messi now, Sergio Busquets, Jordi Alba, and they just got an international player exception, so they might add Luis Suarez too, who's a little washed up, but he can at least give you 20, 30 minutes. That'll be better than most MLS strikers.
He'll sell 50 tickets a game too, so you know what I mean? It'll be great. If a team like that happens, which would be what? A super team, right? Yeah. That would be considered MLS, a super team in the MLS.
It's hard to call like an MLS team a super team just because of the caliber.
Right, but let's consider it from my feeble mind, compared, for the soccer world, that it is a super team. And if they don't win, what do you call the MLS championship? The MLS Cup?
Yeah.
Okay.
The Cup.
The cup. The cup. If they don't win the cup, is that a disappointment, or do you do you think
they won't this year because they're like the last place team? So
wait, they're already in the middle of the season.
Yeah, they don't do it like Europe, where it's like.
And this is why I'm not talking soccer on an everyday basis.
And I was surprised he was even going to be playing this season because they're already more than halfway. They just had their All-Star game too. And
I do remember that All-Star game now.
Because I know, like, you play FIFA and stuff. It's usually August to about May.
I don't
first
play
week of June.
MLS. I play Premier
if you're playing Premier League, and that's the normal season length in Champions League, and then it was a little later this year with the World Cup. But that's a lot of soccer for him, given his age.
Yeah,
he's 36 now. But I mean, it's like child's play for him.
Well, speaking of child's play, the PIF, or the Saudi League, Al Hilal, with that Kylian Mbappe offer of totaling over $1 billion with the transfer fee, $776 million a year for the contract fee.
Yeah.
Now, so with the transfer fee, that doesn't go to the player, does it? That goes to the team, right?
No, they're paying PSG.
Right.
So everyone's PSG is like, no brainer, we'll take it.
Well, of course.
Mbappe has to agree.
But he has to agree to
terms,
it.
Yeah.
Right, and this comes down to about $88,000 per hour. So Randy, that's what my next raise needs to be looking at. $88,000. He said, bye. He said, get on out of here, brother.
David is just fired live on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right now.
Man, just but.
It's funny though too, seeing like the NBA players joke about it because it was so taboo to go to the live and everything. And now everyone's like, oh, maybe that's not so bad. You get a huge payday.
So that's kind of my next question is like, all right, so they've already kind of started to get into golf and soccer, the PIF has, right? And I'm not saying that these aren't American sports, but like golf isn't as loved to some certain, like golf is to me a very international sport. Like it's everywhere. Whereas like you're not going to go all around the world and see people playing football, even baseball. You know what I mean? Basketball is starting to become kind of more of an international sport. So I would think that's the next sport that they dive into. Could you see some of these players, like even Giannis made the little joke, "Hey, I look like Kylian Mbappe." You know what I mean?
He kind of does.
Yeah, exactly.
I double take on that one.
Right. So, but
could you made a face like him.
Could you see the PIF? Like, how long do you think it'll be before they're dipping into like beloved American sports?
I think a while, or maybe because it's hard. It's a lot harder to get ownership. I feel like with how the NFL owners vote on everything and how long it took. Whatever you want to call Washington right now, the Commanders.
Yeah, we'll call them the football team. Let's go back to that. That was a great name.
Yeah,
I like the Redskins. But
the Redskins was definitely better, but I don't think they're going back in that direction.
I mean, if you ever listen to us on Tuesdays, I always call Cleveland the Indians still.
Yeah, Cleveland, it is.
That's who the Cubs beat in the World Series. It was the Indians. They're still the Indians. It's still kind of in their name. But it's a lot harder to purchase a team in America. I think I wouldn't be like surprised to see maybe them start trickling into buying some of the Super League basketball teams in the Euro League, like from what Luka came from and stuff like that. But I see the NBA owners being pretty stringent on it because of not
what
being
about
able to compete
players,
financially.
though? I guess it would benefit the PIF to get into the league as that being the platform rather than going and getting a guy like, let's go with Jokic. No, let's go Jokic.
Oh, we're going to go that high profile right away?
Well, I mean, what have they done in Live?
Jokic,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Jokic probably would do it too,
right?
He's like, I don't care. It's a job.
It's a job. He's going to be able to race as many horses as he wants, and he's going to be able to buy as many horses as he. And he's going to be. He'll be closer to Serbia.
Yeah. So it's not out of the question. I don't know how soon we'll see it impact basketball, though. I feel like it's more of a cultural thing where I guess golf was a big thing for them. But I mean, soccer makes sense because soccer is just so universal. I could see them maybe making an impact. Maybe they already have because I don't follow it on like cricket too, just because of the geographic. But I don't know. I don't think they'll make an impact on baseball still. But you never say never. I wouldn't have expected this to be happening already. It's really bad for the MLS because the MLS can't financially compete with it.
Yeah.
So as we were starting to get guys like Bastian Schweinsteiger, Wayne Rooney, now we're getting like senior home people coming over. Like
there you go.
It's like the guys who are done in Europe.
Wayne Rooney and they were like senior, not citizens, they were older. David Beckham, all of those guys, they were pretty much way past their prime.
And Beckham, he's really good. Obviously, you have to bend it like Beckham, but he's overrated in like the history of like actual soccer caliber. He's more of like the namesake than
like
he is.
It was his name. Is his name even that big in America without him coming to MLS? And is it even a big name now?
Victoria Beckham. He got the international powerhouse going there.
There you go.
It's like
I'd like to take a stab at the theory of why the PIF and then went with golf. If you look at all of the other like major sports, like here in America, and include golf, include the WNBA. Like I don't care which sports that you include here. What I'm saying is there more of a like opposite the authority, if you will? Like, was there another person out there like Greg Norman who for his whole life has been to get back at the PGA or to create a rival league? Whereas I don't think that you have that. Like you look at the NFL, you can't create a rival league to rival the NFL. Major League Baseball, I don't think you can rival that one. There's no one out there. Like everyone, if you're a baseball fan, most times you like MLB over your team to a certain extent, like because you love baseball. And so with golf, I think maybe it was just because the PIF and it was probably Norman going towards them, like, you guys got the money, I've got the idea, let's go.
Because the PGA like doesn't really take care of the caddies or anything, and they really exposed a lot of that. And I think they made the tour better for that. And it made the
well, not to mention, like, golf is an individual sport. You can buy 10 golfers, but like that would be like one team in almost any other sport. So like you were able to buy more teams because it is an individual sport. So I think that made it easier to kind of establish yourself because you were able to buy X amount of names as opposed to trying to put together one super team.
Yeah. Wild stuff, though. Definitely, it would be interesting to see if they ever did start diving into or tried to put together enough money for a new franchise in football.
I dare them to come for our American football.
Well, not taking it away, though, but having their own team where they just like abolish the salary cap.
Give me a basketball team in Seattle.
The Supersonics.
I'm down for that. And it's pretty funny because like people are adverse to it at first, and then you get like the EPL where like Man City. All the Manchester City fans are bandwagoners now, but people who are the fans of the team to begin with are so happy that a Saudi prince bought their team because they just keep bringing in great capital and just great players and championships. And then you see that with Newcastle now, who just made the Champions League, and they were bought by a Saudi prince about a year and a half ago. And it's good for raising the stakes, and it would be better if they bought more teams like that, where Newcastle's like a history, just to kind of make the league more competitive.
If I could ever clone myself, I'd clone myself to be a Saudi prince.
Yeah, just unlimited money.
I think I need to go ahead and switch my kids' sports to soccer now, man.
But see, the issue with that, like, and I like the joke, and I like seeing everyone joke about that and whatnot, but it's like, if your kid was born in America, the chances of you getting, like, Kylian Mbappe type money are...
Zero.
right. I wanted to hear it from the soccer guys, so it's not coming from my mouth, but I agree 100%. Like, and then again, like, would you say with soccer, especially to get to the top of the ranks? Now, of course, you're going to have your anomalies, people who can like pick it up later on in their life and do okay with it. But I think with soccer, with as much as it being the world's sport, to some degree, you got to be playing when you're still in booties and not boots.
Yeah, and I guess the only people to defy the Saudis are Messi and like that are that above it, and Tiger, because money is not a concept either of them.
Yeah, that's a good point too, man. But could you imagine had Tiger signed over with them,
or like even Messi too, $1.6 billion?
If Tiger went to the Live Tour, would the PGA just be like, well, I get I guess we're just.
What was it? 800.
You got room for us over there?
There's some crazy number that he turned down. Between him and Messi, they probably turned down like almost $3 billion.
Golly, man.
Would it not make more sense if they did try to go to American to be baseball? Because without the salary cap, they would actually really be able to utilize those funds. Because you go to football or basketball and there's a salary cap, you can't really exploit the money the way they're trying to in other sports.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's a good point. Where, like, what city do you think they would go to in America? Like, what would be a good city for the for a Saudi Prince team?
Vegas.
There you go. Well, they're gonna have the Oakland. Go to Oakland. Go to Oakland. You know what I mean? Revamp it. Call
They
yourself.
might not like the California property taxes.
Hey, well, I guess there's that. But I mean, if you got unlimited money, why are you worried about the taxes? All right, we'll move on here. Trade deadline is just a week away right now, and of course, we always got to talk about Shohei Ohtani. So has anything changed? I mean, the Orioles, the D-backs have said that they're interested in making a trade. A lot of people don't want to see Ohtani, at least during this portion of the season, go to the National League because that would mess up his chances of breaking Judge's record from last year. But what do you think here? Like, let's just stick with those two teams, Orioles, Diamondbacks. Which would you prefer out of those two teams to see Ohtani playing with?
I think the Orioles. I think it would be pretty cool to see the Orioles make a run, just kind of shape up. I mean, just shake up, I guess, the AL East. Between the Orioles and the Rays, it's been a sweet race. I mean, the Diamondbacks are fun, too, but I kind of want him to break Judge's record if he could.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to see, like, immediately.
Dude, if he goes to the Orioles, and I think you can make the argument that
Short porch in right field.
Right. But I'm saying just with the Orioles right now without Ohtani. So the last time that they had this many wins in their first 62, I believe, is where they're at right now. 62, 63.
First place O's.
Yeah, and the last time that they had that many wins in their first 100 games, the least furthest that they've been is the ALCS. So I'm not saying that the Orioles are going to be in the World Series this year by any means.
Cal Ripken?
Well, no, there was actually quite a few years. Like, you're looking in the 60s, you're looking in the 80s. Yeah, so there was quite a few different, like, eras. It wasn't just kind of one team there. So we could be seeing the Orioles make a run this year. Now, if they were to get Shohei Ohtani.
They still have more firepower they could call up or trade.
Right. And then I keep on hearing people, they're like, Adley Rutschman is a generational talent, but Gunnar Henderson's even better than that. And even better than him is Jackson Holiday. Like,
Jackson
is that
Holiday's
true?
insane.
Right? I mean, but
good.
like, as far as being able to stay at that level, is it feasible for
I think
the Orioles?
So. What their farm is right now is incredible. They still have Kobe Mayo, who might come up. There's rumors of him being moved for a guy like a Marcus Stroman or Lucas Giolito just to add to their arms. Jackson Holiday's already in Double-A. He keeps mashing every single level he's been at. He's hitting over a 1 OPS.
Yeah.
His OBP's been over like 450 in each one, and I don't think they expected him to develop this quickly. And they got a lot of slack for taking him, because didn't they take him over Drew Jones? He went first.
Yeah.
So, and Drew Jones has had shoulder issues, which I'm sure. I mean, the ceiling is so high for both those guys. Like,
man,
when your dad's Matt Holliday and Andrew Jones,
has anyone? Do you know if anyone's found that Drew Jones card with the bounty on it?
Oh, I don't think so. Yeah.
You might want to find that and go ahead and get that bounty money instead of holding on to it until he gets to the Hall of Fame right now. Yeah. That's a long shot. That might not ever, because if he hits the Hall of Fame and you have that card, supposedly it turns into $1 million bounty at that point. So, I mean, you can hold on to it if you want, but $250,000 is a quarter of that, so you might as well just go ahead and
not take the
take
chances.
Yeah, exactly. Because for the Hall of Fame, you've got to wait for his entire career, which is 20 years at least. Or if he's going to have a Hall of Fame career, if he's going to have a Hall of Fame career, it's got to be 15 years. And then beyond that, 5 years after that. And that's just if he hits 75%. Is it 75 or 70?
Rolling in.
Yeah, but even McGriff.
75, I think, right?
Yeah, 75 to get into the Hall. But McGriff was, he got in through the contemporary voting side of things, not the actual Hall of Fame, even though he's still in the Hall of Fame. It's like, why do y'all even do all of this? It doesn't make sense. And I guess that's just the world of writing that we live in, though. So, yeah, got a lot of tight divisional. Is there anything else that you're hearing in the world of in Major League Baseball right now dealing with the trade deadline? Things to watch out for.
Both Chicago teams, the White Sox and Cubs.
Buyers or sellers?
Sellers,
Come
probably.
on
I think
now.
the Cubs are going to hold.
I like holding for the Cubs a little bit better, just because you're not so far out of it right now.
It's a mission of failure, too, if you trade Bellinger. I would love to keep him and pay him, but it stinks because he's a Scott Boras client, so he's going to get overpaid, unfortunately. I mean, it might be worth it for a couple years, but the lowest of his lows were pretty bad. But Carlos Correa, I mean, last year he was able to come back, get a second contract from the Twins, 6 years, $200 million, and basically had a broken leg. No, I was saying, like, if you're getting 6,200 with Correa's knee issues and ankle issues.
I was about to say.
What about a reunion with Duvall? Duvall back to the Braves.
Back to the Braves.
For like the fourth or fifth time, it feels like.
Yeah,
it'll be
It's like Kike Hernandez just got traded to the Dodgers.
I would say that he got traded?
Yeah, back from the Red Sox.
Oh, okay, yeah. My thing with Adam Duvall would be, we've got so many. Well, yeah, right. But we've got so many guys right now that are platooning just for one position. Yeah. Like you got Kevin Pillar, you've got Eddie Rosario, you've got Ozuna who sometimes gets out there in the field. You know what I mean? It's just like, so why are we going to bring in another guy that is going to give you about the same level there when Kevin Pillar has kind of been playing really good left field to some extent, better than Rosario? So I don't see why you just wouldn't throw him out there. I like the storyline. I think that if AA's doing that, it's like a Jock Peterson move where he's bringing him in because he's got a good bat, but he's a great clubhouse guy, and that's what gets you right, and that's what gets you to the top of the mountain. All right, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll finish up with some more Your Minute with Max if you got some time, and then we'll play some traffic jamming trivia. It's the Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida. We'll be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida has the real local fishing report. Hi, this is Tim from Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle. Join me every Friday at 4:20 during the Afternoon Underdogs. It's accurate, detailed content from local anglers, plus fishing updates on Saturday and Sunday morning right when you hit the water. Advice and stories from local anglers. Tune into the Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle Fishing Report, exclusively on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Tuesday's weather forecast. Partly cloudy the rest of the day with temps near 89 and a wind between 5 to 10 miles per hour. Mostly clear skies tonight, a calm wind and a temperature of 80. About the same tomorrow, around 90 with mostly sunshine and a wind at 5 miles per hour out of the west-southwest. Hot with a high around 90 and mostly sunny Thursday. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumberyard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hey folks, Chris Kramer with Bill Kramer GM. And the best place to listen to the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey is inside a brand new vehicle from Bill Kramer GM. And I want you to know we've got 10 times the amount of inventory on the ground as we did this time last year, and darn near all of them are discounted. So shop us online at BillKramerGM.com or visit us the corner of Frankfurt and 23rd. We'll make it easy and take great care of you.
Did you know that fees associated with real estate closings are virtually the same from one title company to the next? So what sets South Oak Title apart? Effective communication, customer service, expertise, and technology. If you're buying or selling real estate, refinancing a residential or commercial property, tell your realtor you want to close with South Oak Title. South Oak Title, with locations across the Southeast, including Panama City Beach, Inlet Beach, Destin, and Fort Walton Beach. Visit them online at southoaktitle.com.
He likes to idle his Kia while eating almonds and listening to Lincoln Park in the Walgreens parking lot.
White people love trail mix.
David Hayes is part of the Afternoon Underdogs.
Oh, they love it. Love it. Eat it every day.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
They love it.
ESPN Northwest Florida is your home for the Atlanta Braves right here in Northwest Florida, sponsored locally by Best Way Portable Buildings, Dave & Buster's, PCB Hobby, and Gulf Coast Aquarium. They're going to be taking on those Red Sox in Fenway tonight. Charlie Morton is going for those Bravos. 6 o'clock is the coverage time will start tonight, and then 6:10 for first pitch. If you're a fantasy footballer, make sure that you're listening. Well, actually, if you're listening right now, send your name, your email, and that you're going to be available for the live draft that's going to be held at Dave & Buster's That's going to be August 26th at 11 a.m. The trivia question for today for a little traffic jam and trivia is going to be actually something that I got out of the Auction League group today. From July 3rd, 2003 to July 3rd, 2023, which NFL team has the most losses? Now, according to Snoops, the answer that was in there, well, the graphic said that the Cleveland Browns had 7 more losses in that particular graphic than what is it, StatMuse said. So it's just 7 off, but it still had the same exact team there. So 850-215-6290 for what?
No, you're good.
Did I give the answer away?
I don't know. We'll see how closely people are paying attention.
Yeah, exactly. There you go, man. 850-215-6290. Give us a call right now to win $25 to that, not but that boot store and a 12-pack of Buffalo Rock. If I did give the answer away, it's okay because I feel like a lot of people's Googling it anyway. So what is the big difference? All right, so those Bengals, man. $25.
What about the Buccaneers, though, man?
Dude, what about those Buccaneers? So what? You know what? If we're going to go that direction, let's go that direction. Is it going to be Baker Mayfield, Kyle Trask? As a Florida State guy, how would you feel if Kyle Trask is leading the Buccaneers? And then Max looks like he's got something exciting, but we'll go to Barrett first.
Oh, man.
It's a lot more exciting than Kyle Trask.
What did I tell you when we first drafted Kyle Trask?
That he'd start for a year and they'd go get the first overall pick, I think.
Yeah.
And then y'all got Tom Brady,
that's who I want to start because I want Caleb Williams next year on Tampa Bay.
Oh, okay.
And I feel like if Baker starts, and this is actually my deep bet for the year, Baker Mayfield wins Comeback Player of the Year this year.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I feel like the offense coordinator, Baker's in Tampa. Yeah. His offense coordinator was the same quarterback coach for Geno Smith, who won Comeback Player of the Year last year.
Geno Smith did.
Well, is this his best season ever?
Yeah.
Has Baker Mayfield ever had a wide receiver like Mike Evans or Chris Godwin?
I'm trying to think.
In NFL.
No, because Cooper was even injured, and I would not say that Cooper Kupp and Mike Evans are the same type of receiver at all. But
what?
Well, no, I'm saying same type of receiver. I mean that's a very interesting argument, though. That just he does have Mike Evans over there, but I mean when he was in Cleveland, he had OBJ, he had Amari Cooper.
OBJ was hurt. I think maybe he played 10 games together. I mean, his feelings always hurt.
You can always count on Mike Evans and Godwin, though, to miss a few games, too.
Well, Evans only misses maybe one game
missed like
a
one or
year.
two,
If he gets after he plays the Saints, he usually gets suspended after a fight with Lattimore.
That's a good point.
That's
a good
warranted.
point. Maybe we'll see a little one-on-one between Thomas and Mike Evans this year. Mike Thomas just needs to go to the defense.
I'm not a crazy fan. I know that it's a rebuilding year. I'm not a fan of the coach whatsoever. I was never a fan of him after Bruce Arians left, or Tom Brady got him fired, whichever one it was. But it's a complete rebuild. I mean, we have some really, really good pieces on the offense. We have some really, really good pieces on the defense. In the NFL, it's just too hard to win when your head coach is a defensive-minded coach.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
That's why I'm kind of curious as to, all right, the Saints, they're in that same position. They've got a defensive-minded head coach in Dennis Allen. You look at Jonathan Gannon, who's over there with the Arizona Cardinals now, defensively-minded. Look at the Tennessee Titans and Mike Vrabel, defensively-minded guy. So, yeah, it's not the track record is obviously better in this time that we're in the NFL with the offensively-minded head coaches, especially when you look at guys like McVay and guys like Mike McDaniel, even down there in Miami. We haven't seen a lot from him yet necessarily, but as far as what
he's hilarious.
Yeah, he's definitely hilarious, but he also comes up with very interesting play call. Like it's almost like we're watching college football via the NFL these days.
1,000%.
Which is fun.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it makes sense. You're drafting these guys from college based on what they did in college. So incorporating those concepts into the NFL, it always happens, and then it kind of also works down into the high school level. It's weird because it almost seems to radiate both sides from college both ways. And it's cool to see as a college football fan. But
back to it, I mean, with Tampa, honestly, I could see it both ways. I could see us losing and being in last place in the division. I honestly could see us winning the division. The division is not tough whatsoever.
Who would you say right now, unbiasedly, is the favorite?
Everyone says the Saints, but I like the Panthers. I like the Panthers head coach better than any of the coaches in the division whatsoever.
I would like the Falcons the best if I liked their quarterback more. I'm not sold on Ritter, but I think honestly,
if it was Heineke,
not,
You're not big on
I'm not a big like. I'm not saying he's a bad quarterback by any means, but I just don't think he's enough to be the game changer. You know, they need somebody that if they had Derek Carr, if they had even a slightly better quarterback, I'd be like, this is by far the team to beat the division.
Yeah, they have all the weapons.
That is such a wonky division.
It is.
It's the worst division. And
I don't know.
It is.
I think the AFC South.
Yeah, just because
much better teams.
You definitely know that the Jaguars are at least. You think they're going to be better than what they were last year.
I think the Colts are going to be a pretty decent team this year.
The NFC North would also like to enter the conversation.
Dang, I do keep on forgetting about that. Yeah, they do got Kirk Cousins.
The Vikings and the Lions, I think, would both win the South, no problem.
Yeah. Honestly, I think the Packers would win it, even with Jordan Love, just because
So
of
you
the
think
defense.
the Packers are going to win the NFC North this year?
No. I'm saying if they win the NFC South.
So you're saying that's how bad the South is.
The Packers win the North this year. I quit football.
I think the Bears would be very competitive in the AFC South or the NFC South this year.
Okay.
There's no argument whatsoever. I think the Bears could win that division with Justin Fields.
Now, for me, going to those Bears, it's always talked, this year, looking at the running back room, Khalil Herbert, Deontay Foreman are dominating the conversation, but then the guy that y'all drafted out of Texas, Roshan Johnson, like that, I think that's who I have my eye on for, because Khalil Herbert, I think he's going to be your RB1.
Action.
Right. Well, that's kind of what you would like to see, or maybe not a Damian Pierce, but a Tyler Algier who was playing along Cordero Patterson last year.
Yeah, and they've drafted pretty well at running back, so we'll see. I'll miss Montgomery, but Montgomery always went down too, and we got the mileage out of him that we could. We still don't really have a good O-line. And
divisional rival. What if he just has a Jamal Williams type year next year?
I don't wish any ill will on him. He was such a good.
That's a good thing. Jamal Williams is.
No, I'm saying I want him to do well.
Even though he plays for Detroit.
Now
Detroit,
he's
Detroit.
Last year Jamal was with the Saints.
I can't really
it would make sense. I mean, you don't think Gibbs is going to be much of a goal line carrier. So, I mean, at that point in time, Montgomery would actually be perfect.
That's why I was slightly confused why they got rid of DeAndre Swift, because it was like, and I get you brought in David Montgomery, and so the obvious choice is to trade DeAndre Swift, but it's like Jahmyr Gibbs and DeAndre Swift could be a pretty good matchup. But then again, the Lions never really, I don't think they ever saw out of DeAndre Swift what they wanted to. It's like the first 2 years of Josh Jacobs.
I think he wanted a fresh scenery. I think it was best for both. He needed a new team, and
he gets to go home to Philadelphia, which is always kind of a cool redemption arc as well. So,
is he from Philly?
Yeah, he's from Philly.
Nice.
I think it does. Go ahead, Max.
My non-football tidbit I was going to add is Aaron Judge is almost back. He was today in the cage, and apparently not favoring anything. Yankees need that.
Yeah, they do.
I just want chaos in the AL East.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we can go back to football now.
Well, who do you want? Who do you want to win the AL East? I mean, like the Orioles or
the Rays or the Orioles.
Rays or the Orioles. What if it was the Jays?
Nah.
So as long as it's not the Yankees, Red Sox, or the Blue Jays.
I'm kind of a big no happiness for Canada or California teams.
Man, this truly is ESPN, because we got the same thing last year. They kept interrupting football to give us Aaron Judge updates.
Aaron Judge at bats.
3-0 count. Is he going to hit a home run or not?
As a base,
I think that happened during NFL
This is
Sunday
why I don't
one
stay
day.
this late. I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was so mad.
It happened on a couple college football Saturdays too. Like it was like Kentucky Ole Miss and stuff like that.
It was like on Fox, and I'm like watching the Tampa game, and it's like, pardon my interruption, but Aaron Judge is up to bat. And I don't give.
If I wanted to watch Aaron Judge, I'd be watching Aaron Judge. I wouldn't be watching this game.
My friend would get mad, but he's a diehard Auburn fan. I'd be like, Aaron Judge had bad Auburn football. Come on.
But I have to agree with the football fans on that. Like, I'm split, because I would be watching on 3 different TVs, and it seemed like all 3 TVs would break away at the same time, and I'm like, okay, like I'm a big baseball fan, but guess what? This is gonna happen, and then in 30 seconds, I'm gonna watch it on Twitter.
It could have easily just been like the game break too that they always do. Like, just show us the home run.
Why does it matter if I'm watching it?
And I love baseball, so
I mean, I can watch it on Twitter.
I was happy with it because I like baseball, but
I honestly can't even remember what happened. Did it happen at night day? Did it happen at game day? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's made the game breaks obsolete, because you're gonna get a Twitter notification one way or the other.
Right.
Bleacher Report within like 5 seconds.
I think that it is, I guess, like a smidge cooler if you're watching it live, because then I guess if you want to, you can be one of the first 4 million people to tweet or Facebook post about it or whatever. But outside of that, I mean, I don't know. Big baseball fan. I thought it was cool, but I thought it was a little overbearing. Like you said, it could have been, hey, they just took a 60-second timeout. Instead of shooting you over to commercial here, we're going to play.
I was glad he broke it too, because so baseball has some of the worst relatives of people who have set records or done stuff that's good. Like Roger Maris Jr. was so lame about it. He was like, he didn't want Judge to get it, I think. I mean, he was like respectful about it. And then there's guys like Ben Verlander who just exist because of Justin Verlander. Yeah. And like they tweet some stuff and you're like, dude, you're not Justin Verlander. Like no one cares what your take is on this. Anyway, sorry. We got to go back to football here.
We still got a whole hour of football.
I don't even know if was this the topic we were supposed to talk about on this one?
No, he brought that one up, but it is kind of like, we leaked it. We talked a lot of Kylian Mbappe and stuff, and I think we even got into some football there in your mortgage minute with Max. But yeah, if Shohei's doing that this year, we're going to see more of that, though. If he's like there at 60, 61, you're going to be seeing that during the
if he gets to like 59, you're going to get a game break every time.
Yeah.
Shohei's so sick.
Which is wild, though. You know what I mean? Like, because when things are happening with the New York Yankees, it's going to be everywhere. But the fact that Shohei is such a great ball player, a great two-way player, and he's doing it for the Angels, who are not a great team right now, record speaking, haven't been in some time now. It's interesting that he can put them on the map like
baseball.
that.
I mean, I'm not the biggest baseball fan, but it's crazy to me you have arguably the two best players, and I know Trout's been in and out a lot with injuries, but have the two best players, and you don't even sniff the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I did actually have a question for Mac, really the baseball fans. How long do you think Ohtani's actually going to keep pitching and being the designated hitter? Do you think he just starts focusing on one within the next couple of years?
I think he'll be doing it for at least 6 or 7 more years because he's been like a top 10, top 15 pitcher this year. His ERA, I mean, he's gotten shelled a couple times now, so he's up to like a 3.7, but that's still obviously upper echelon. So it was cool because when he started out, he would play the 4 days and then he'd pitch, but he wouldn't hit. And now he's pissed if he's not hitting the same days he's pitching. He usually hits a home run when he's pitching, which is even cooler. But I don't know how you can just like pivot your brain like that.
And who you guys think if he ends up being a free agent after this season?
What he gets paid?
If he ends
what do you think gets paid, and who you think he goes to?
I want him to go to the Seattle Mariners. That's like been the spot that I think would be cool.
Selfishly, I don't want him on the West Coast though. I want to see him more.
Well, that's the beauty of baseball now is that you get to see every team in your ballpark once every 2 years. So.
But half their games are still at like 9, 10.
Well, yeah, as far as that. But you could always wake up and just watch the recap of it, or watch the whole live game.
How do they not do a home and away every year with 163 games or whatever?
This is the first year. Back, dude, when we were all growing up,
interleague was like 6 games.
You would play like 1 series a year against, or maybe a two series, 6 games between the other league.
And it was so exciting to have your NL team DH.
Mind-boggling.
I know you play like 16. If you're the Braves, you probably play the Marlins like 16, 18 times a year.
That just makes no sense. Like as a non-baseball fan, like the idea of that schedule just makes no sense whatsoever.
Well, it did though, because the leagues were totally different. Like if you look at the NFL, you look at the NBA, everyone does the same thing on both sides, and now they do in baseball. Both teams have the DH. Right. So it used to be. Go ahead, Max.
When they started giving more NL versus AL games too, a lot of the managers and GMs in the NL started to get pissed because they're like, well, our rosters aren't built to have a DH or have like those rotation guys. They're like, this is so rigged for the AL.
Yeah,
I guess that's fair.
But I like the fact that the World Series, you would have when the American League team is at home, you've got the designated hitter, but then when you go to the National League parks, you lose the designated hitter. So now we're seeing these guys who haven't hit in maybe 3 or 4 years, depending, you know what I mean? And now they're all of a sudden hitting at least 2 times in a ball game. I love that though. Yeah. And now it is cool that we're playing, like that you're playing the whole entire, or that you're playing all other 29 teams in the league. But there is something that I'm like, I wish that it was still closer to the old days. But now that the NL has a DH, just go ahead and even up the schedule. Play your division,
It's still division heavy.
Yeah, it is still division heavy.
Yeah, I don't miss watching the pitcher go to bat, the last at bat.
I definitely miss watching the pitchers hit though. I
thought the strategy was so funny to like pitch around it or like intentionally walk the 8 hitter to let the pitcher hit.
Or some of the pitchers who would be hit, they would be hitting the pitcher in the 8th spot and then put someone else in the 9th spot. Just all the little things you could do. But we've got to get to a break. Max, thanks so much, man. You guys are riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. Hour number 2's up next.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The tradition continues.
That ball is going to be out of here.
America's team plays here.
Bombs away.
The Atlanta Braves are back and making a statement.
Ronald Acuna just clobbered one to left.
Listen to Atlanta Braves baseball in a rich audio experience live on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Here comes the thunder.
Sponsored by Gilbert Kia, Reliable Hydraulic Solutions, Mid-South Lumber, Stormore Portable Buildings, and Brock Pest Control.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Tuesday. Mostly clear skies tonight with a calm wind around 2 miles per hour coming out of the west-northwest, and look for the low to be 80. Tomorrow morning, there will be mostly sunshine with the temperature reaching 90. Mostly sunny in the afternoon and evening with a high of 90. Thursday will have a high of 90 and mostly sunshine. This weather is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Hi folks, I'm Tracy at Tracy's Fine Jewelry. Santa called and he asked me to help everyone get ready for Christmas and avoid the stress and rush. So we've stocked the store and slashed the prices. All colored gemstones have been reduced 50 to 70% off. Emeralds, rubies, sapphires, amethysts, blue topaz, tanzanites, opals, and many more. And we are offering free 6-month layaway. Tracy's Fine Jewelry takes the stress out of the holidays. So shop now where Santa shops during our Christmas and July sale at Tracy's Fine Jewelry.
The Atlanta Braves play here.
And the Braves are back in front.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. John, ESPN Northwest Florida.
With over 65 years of combined experience, Instant Replay Sports Cards is happy to help you take your collection to the next level. They carry all the new hobby boxes, signed memorabilia, and supplies, new and vintage cards, and Pokemon. They sell and trade cards and are always looking to buy. They're an authorized source for Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, and Leaf cards. Instant Replay Sports Cards is open 7 days a week at 752 West 23rd Street, down from Academy Sports, and can always be reached at instantReplaySportsCards.com.
ESPN Northwest Florida. He entered a kids' 1 mile fun run and came in 9th. David Hayes is part of the Afternoon Underdogs. Weekdays 4 to 6 on ESPN Northwest Florida and the ESPN Northwest Florida app.
It's hour number 2. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. You're in the doghouse. We are live and local. This is ESPN Northwest Florida, 104.3 here in Panama City, 101.9 in Port St. Joe. We are 40 minutes away from the blast at Bay Point. When you hear the cue to call, be caller number 10. We'll put you on the air. We'll play a little high-low. What we're looking for today is our good friend Alan Watson over there at Golf Plus has been selling some grade A putters, the TaylorMade GTX, and last week they sold a ton of them. It's been the hottest seller in the shop. How many TaylorMade GTX putters sold so far there in Dothan and right here at Golf Plus in the shops at Edgewater? If you're calling number 10, we'll put you on the air. You play high-low. You guess the number for that one there. If you get it right, you and a guest win 18 holes of golf at the Bay Point Golf Club. And if you don't, as a consolation prize, you get a large bucket of golf balls on the driving range. We'll be looking for your call at 540-850-215-6290. And if you are a fantasy football crazy like we are in here, then make sure that you send your name, your email, and that you will be available for August 26th at 11 a.m. out there at Dave & Buster's, so you can win the prize, just like Barrett Townsend's holding up right now.
So in last place, and Tyler gets to hold what?
The back of the horse. There you go.
I can really see the resemblance between the two.
Oh, here we go. We're getting the trash talk ready.
Hey, man, if my dogs keep winning titles, fantasy football, yeah, whatever. That's oh no.
So you'll start focusing in like 6 years or so?
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see how it goes.
You know what's funny?
Go ahead.
He used to be dominant in fantasy football.
Right.
Absolutely dominant. Because Georgia was okay, but they weren't anything special. You know, they were never in the title picture like they are going to be for like the next decade. His fantasy game is absolutely awful now. Because it's funny because he'll completely pay attention to Saturday.
Yeah.
Sunday, he'll set his lineup, but you don't see him picking up the waivers, doing the trades and everything like that.
And he admits it too.
Yeah, he's not shaking his head. He's not denying. He's like, I'd rather take a championship.
Well, because I remember when you said that, because I was like trying to make the case for him to either get into our little boomer bust league or something like that, and you had mentioned that, and then it was like another Tuesday or something, and I asked him about that. He was like, yeah, no, he's right. I don't really focus as much on that as like.
I wouldn't lie to him.
Well, I mean, but it could have been trash talking or whatever. You know what I mean? And
I
then
think
like
Tyler's the only person I don't talk trash to.
Yeah.
Is that right, Tyler?
When you're great, you just can't,
Oh, this guy. We might just have to razzle dazzle him some here today, Barrett. But no, very love fantasy football. Can't wait for the live draft. It's going to be fun. We're going to have Amanda as a part of the league. And if we get enough people in the league, then I'm going to create another league, call it the Coach James Hale Show League. And I'm going to teach him how to play fantasy football and let him.
I will say, anybody on the fence about doing it, I did it last year. It's a great time. Like getting together for a live draft is such a unique thing. Like everybody, I mean, most everybody listening to the show has probably done fantasy football online. If you've never done a live draft, take this opportunity to not have to organize it, not have to set it up. You just get to show up, do the thing, and leave. And just even like last year, Barrett and I were in the same league, and I knew Barrett, and that was about it. And even then, it was still a good time because everybody was there for the same reason, and everybody kind of had that similarity. You talk about sports, talk about picks. Oh, that was a great pick. Oh man, I was going to pick him. Guys you don't know, and it's a great time. Anybody on the fence, I would highly recommend doing it.
For sure, man. We had an absolute blast. I mean, fantasy football itself for me is just fun, but doing it online compared to doing it live with people you either do know or people that you just meet right then and there, awesome experience.
And that's one of the cool things about it is you've got 3, possibly 4 drafts all going on at the same time, and so you're all kind of in your own little groups. But then at the end, it's you're meeting people, and everyone's got their gear on, so you kind of off rip know who their who their favorite teams are and stuff. So then you can trash talk people even if you don't know them, and that's just kind of the beauty of being sports fans is like you can say some pretty demeaning stuff to people, but say it lightheartedly or just like if it's about sports and it doesn't go anywhere other than just maybe a little retort back of trash talk
right there.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's fun. I mean, after you do your draft, you go look at someone else's draft, like, man, he kind of looked just like my draft. How did he fall all the way down there and you went like first round for us, man?
Yeah, comparing how the drafts go is always fun too. Like, oh man, this guy got picked like 3rd overall and he fell to like the 3rd round in somebody else's league or so.
Yeah, because last year we had a couple of that's why this year I'm going to have a waiting list at least of 5 people. But because we had a couple of life happens and stuff, and so we ended up having to take the Champions League and knocking it down from 12 to 10 people because we missed some people and then put others back into the at that point it was the North and the South League. We're going with the Inside Drive and the Afternoon Underdogs. But let's take a look at some of these divisions here since it's your only presumably. We don't know. We might have another Township Tuesday here in the near future, but the opportunities are you got a lot going on, so I want to make sure that we get these in today. And Tyler, me and you can roll around with this as well. So let's start with the NFC North. We were just talking about that. Who wins the NFC North this year? We'll start with Barrett and go around the table.
I think for the first time ever, Detroit.
Would that be their first time ever?
Isn't it be the first time ever winning that division? Because
there's a good chance. I mean, with Favre and Brady, or with Favre and Aaron Rodgers up there in Green Bay, then you had Culpepper and stuff like that in the early.
They might have won it when they had Bay, but I don't think that they've ever won that specific. Because I know Tampa used to be in Tampa used to be in the division, so it used to be Tampa, Detroit, Green Bay. I want to say the Vikings at that point in time was in that division till the NFC South came apart, became a division.
I'm trying to look it up because the Bucks won it in 79 and 81. It looks like the Vikings were a part of it. I mean, they won it in 89. The Bears won a lot. The Vikings. I mean, the Vikings won it the second year of the NFC North.
Okay.
1968. So it was you had the Packers, you had the Vikings, the Bucks winning it there 79, 81. The Lions won it in 83.
Okay, maybe it was just one of those.
They won it in 91, they won it in 93. And that was the last time that they won it, 1993.
But they won it as the NFC Central in the NFL. Yeah, as the NFC Central, not the NFC North.
No, this is... Oh yeah, no, I get. Yeah, you're right.
Well, according to Wikipedia, Wikipedia never lies.
That's where I'm at.
Never lies to us.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So pre-merger, it was Packers, Vikings, and then post-merger, so it was NFC Central. Yeah, you're right. And then it became the NFC North in 2002, essentially.
Okay, so they've never won the division.
Yeah, there you go.
I love Dan Campbell. I think Goff gets too much hate. Gibbs, I think, is going to be an explosive running back for them. I hate that Jamison Williams suspended. Already hurt again. I really want to see what kind of potential he has. But I just love Dan Campbell, and I don't see any other ceiling. I think Vikings are going to get worse. I mean, they lost Delvin Cook, they lost Thielen. They got to still pay Jefferson. So
y'all think Jordan Addison is going to catch a suspension? I mean,
0% chance.
0% chance.
Yeah,
especially
he was
now
saving
that
his dog.
You're right.
When it comes to dogs,
isn't that like? I mean, I 100% agree, but like, there's no, you know what I mean?
There's no universe that's true.
There's no universe that is false.
If it was any of us three right here, and our dog was
we're in jail, but it's
you're right. We're in jail for going 140. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, you better be on your way to the emergency vet, and even at that point, they'll be like, "Sorry, bud." Like
he's gonna have his leg cut off.
I mean, even if you had your pregnant wife in the car with you, and you're going 140, you think you get away with it then?
Depends on what type of cop. I shouldn't say it. If you get a female cop, I would think,
Oh, yeah, because she's like a little closer. Yeah. A little bit more
not
empathetic.
No, like
empathetic towards the situation that's going on.
It depends on what type of mood you guys have, and different.
But if you got if
I ain't never driving 140 miles an hour regardless. Like, no matter.
I'd be scared.
Like, isn't that even like if you're going 140 with no one in the car, like, still not a great idea, even if you're going to save your dog or whatever. But if you're driving at 140 miles an hour with your pregnant wife in the car, then you're putting 2 lives at risk, and your own as well. So 3 lives at risk at that point.
It's funny. My father-in-law, maybe like a couple of years ago, we were working on his shipping container house, and he was working overhead and ended up cutting his arm, and you can see his bones, arteries, and everything like that. So I'm driving the truck, and he's got no pain. He can go with everything. Like, they asked him what his pain was at that point in time. Like, he said like a 4. I'd be like crying at the help me.
I just see my bones and my bone marrow right here.
I'm over here driving. I'm driving his truck, and I'm going like 75, 80. He's like, if you don't speed up, I am going to kick you. So I'm like trying to go like 90. I'm going so fast, I'm going to get pulled over.
Oh, man.
So I couldn't imagine going 140 there.
Yeah, for real. And then you like, if you've got your pregnant wife in the car, it's probably not as calm as the demeanor that your law had there.
She'd be screaming and yelling.
Holy cow. NFC North for you, Tyler.
I'm not a huge fan of what the Lions did in the draft. I think they blew an opportunity to really make their team into the NFC favorites or NFC North favorites. I don't hate the picks. I don't hate the players. I just hate the picks and the spots they got them in. But I'm going with the Vikings. I think year 2 in that McConnell offense, Kirk Cousins, they got T.J. Hawkinson coming back. They have Addison taking over Thielen. Madison has performed well when Cook hasn't been there. I think that offense is still going to make them the team to beat in that division.
See, I want to go with the Vikings, especially after watching some more quarterback, and it's just, it makes
I love that show, dude.
Isn't it
I love Cook. I've never disliked Kirk Cousins. Like, I just thought he was, just a good
run-of-the-mill quarterback.
But dude, like, watching his he's literally like a normal guy. Like, all 3 of us, he's probably does the exact same thing that we do when he's not playing football.
Yeah.
So
right,
he seems like a normal, cool dude,
and so that definitely makes me want to root for him. But so I called the Vikings to win last year, even though I had the Packers and the Chargers. That was my Super Bowl favorites for last year. But I had the Vikings winning the NFC North. I want to go back that direction, but I really think that the Lions are brewing something special here, and so I'm going to go with Barrett and say it's going to be the Detroit Lions. Now, this is subject to change before the season starts.
Yeah,
the only one.
Yeah,
exactly. But for right now, I'm going to go with Detroit just because like Barry said, I like what Dan Campbell brings to it. Now, I am curious if the run game, as much as I like Jahmyr Gibbs, I still think that the run game takes a step back this year, like to live up to what they had going on last year with DeAndre Swift and specifically Jamal Williams. I think that it takes a step back, but hey, maybe,
I think Montgomery can kind of, I'm not saying Jamal Williams didn't have like this crazy, but How many 1 to 2 to 3 yard touchdown runs did Jamal Williams have? I would say probably at least 12.
Well, he had 17, right? So
at least 10, I would probably say.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Montgomery can do the exact same thing. But
I agree with
gives that explosive, 4.3 40, can catch the ball out of the backfield. Probably has the best offensive line in the NFC. Detroit does.
NFC?
Yeah, and maybe even the NFL. I think for sure the NFC, but they have a great offensive line.
I'm really curious. I know this is totally outside of the NFC North, but in the AFC North with Orlando Brown going over there to block the blind side of Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see if that, makes a big difference for that offensive line because Joe Burrow, especially his first 2 years, was on his back more than he was standing upright. Let's move to the NFC. Let's go NFC West here. Does anyone believe anyone could win other than the San Francisco 49ers? Or at least this, I'll say for me right now, it's the San Francisco 49ers. The Seahawks maybe, but I think the Rams, with Matt Stafford not restructuring his contract, I think that's because he knows I'm not going to do this because it's not good for me because I might not even be playing. This year might mirror last year.
Yeah. No, I think right now that's the easy call.
Yeah, I mean, I think Arizona might. No, I'm just kidding. San Francisco for sure. It's San Francisco until it's not with that division.
All right, I like that. Then we'll move over to the NFC. Let's go ahead and go with the South then. This one's tough. I'm going to kind of the same answer that you just gave for the 49ers, but I don't believe it as strongly for the South. But I'm going to say the Saints in that defense until it's proven wrong here. So
I'm going to go Falcons in that one.
Ooh.
I think we're all
different teams.
I'm going to go with the Panthers just because two different things. They've got the best coach, and I think they have the best quarterback in the division. I'm not a Call fan. I've never been a Call fan. I think they overpaid him. The Saints do what the Saints do. They overpay a bunch of veterans, and it pays.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with the Panthers in that division.
And then our final one here, we've got the North, the West, the South, and
the East.
The East.
Man.
The beast of the East.
I mean,
3 years ago, it was like the worst.
Kind of like the West, right? Like it's got to be Philly until it's not. I mean, does anybody really feel confident picking the Cowboys or the Giants or the Commanders?
No, but yes. No, but yes. Once you got to that last one, I'm like, Sam Howell, are you kidding me?
I'm telling you.
We know how these North Carolina quarterbacks do in the league. Look at Pro Bowler Mitch Trubisky over there backing up Kenny Pickett.
Drake May's going to be the next.
Come on now. Dude, I saw a mock draft today, which our great friend Derek Tate of the show finally was able to announce. I've known this news for a couple of weeks now, but he's going to be signing with Pro Football Network, doing full-time coverage with them.
I love this fantasy expert. I literally go to him for a bunch of questions and everything.
And so they put out, not Derek Tate, but someone put out a mock draft, and it had the Tennessee Titans drafting 5th overall, taking Drake May.
So that'd be 3 years in a row.
3 years in a row, and they had the, I want to say it was the Cardinals taking the first two picks.
Because they got the Texans pick.
Yeah, they went with Caleb Williams, and they got Marvin Harrison Jr. Like, if that happens, come on now.
That's some mad stuff.
That'd be fun to watch that.
It would be fun.
You know, it's crazy. I don't hate the scenario of drafting 3 quarterbacks in a row. If you don't have a quarterback.
Yeah, that's fair.
I mean, what's the most important position in the NFL?
Quarterback, 100%.
If you don't have one in Will Levis, you don't have one now in Malik Willis. Why not just go ahead and keep swinging until you eventually hit?
Can we swing on something that might actually hit?
I mean, Drake might hit.
But do you really believe? Like, I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a great year there with North Carolina, but did it change the record at all? No, they still had a bad record.
They lost to Georgia Tech last year. That's all I really got to know about Drake May.
Maybe this year, but this could be one of those years because look, Joe Burrow in 2018 with LSU, like they didn't have the greatest year that year, but then they turn around 2019. So if Drake May is what they say he's about, or at least what some of us think he's about, then if you're North Carolina and you finish 2nd or 3rd in the ACC, that could be, one of those type of moves. So that's like LSU.
Maybe they got Jordan Jefferson, a Jamal Chase, a Clyde Edwards.
Yeah, I don't know about
they got
that.
4 first rounders on offense.
All right, so how about
Terrence Marshall?
all right, so let's finish up with the NFL. Well, I guess we'll all say the Eagles then, right?
Philly? I'm not banking on anybody else.
Yeah, I got actually the Cowboys finishing 3rd in that division.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say the Cowboys. I was going to say, I know.
Last time I checked, Dak Prescott's still the quarterback.
I know Travis called in earlier with Jimmy Graham and that hot take, but I think if you say say that the Cowboys are winning the East right now. That's the hottest take of the year. That's hotter than the daggone week it was last week when it was feeling like 110 degrees and whatnot.
God, I love Florida, though.
Jamar Chase, it was one of the groups that I'm in on Facebook. Jamar Chase compared to Marvin Harrison. Not necessarily the NFL that we know of Jamar, or the NFL receiver that we know of Jamar Chase, but the college NFL prospect receiver. Who would you guys rather have, Jamar or Marvin Harrison Jr.?
I mean, Jamal's already proved it.
Right. But let's pretend we haven't seen what he's been able to do.
But Marvin Harrison, I think, within 3 years, is going to be Jordan Jefferson 1A, Marvin Harrison 1B. I think Marvin Harrison is going to be better than his dad, depending on what team he goes. Obviously, it all depends.
Yes.
If he goes to Arizona and he has to, I mean, if he gets Caleb Williams, then I think he's going to be a stud. But if he goes to a team like, I don't know, the Falcons, then have to go with Desmond Ridder as his quarterback.
Ooh. Will Desmond Ridder still be the Falcons quarterback next year?
As a Tampa fan, I hope so.
Yeah, there you go. But
no,
I'm with you, though.
I love Marvin Harrison Jr. I think I know we're not doing this take or anything like that, and I don't know if a wide receiver has ever won the Heisman in all time. I always forget about Devontae Smith.
It's easy to, though.
Yeah, I think he's going to win the Heisman this year. I think Marvin Harrison will
win
it.
who I really want to see win the Heisman, and this is going to make him... And we've already talked about it, so he knows exactly where I'm going. But Brock Bowers, like, if they have to use him in fourth quarter situations, you know what I mean? Like, I could see it happening because, he is the best receiver on that Georgia team. But if they feed him the ball enough and he has gaudy, ridiculous numbers, I could see it happening. But if Ohio State and Marvin Harrison is in that same boat, I think they would. They would take Marvin Harrison
especially if they're both ranked. Like if Georgia's most likely is going to be ranked number 1, Ohio State number 2.
It's going to be almost impossible for Brock to put up good enough numbers. I think Marvin Harrison has.
Because if Brock puts up good numbers, most likely Beck is probably going to be in the Heisman candidate.
Well, I mean, the thing is like people forget Devontae Smith had to have Mechie went down for that whole most of that season in order for him to put up those crazy numbers.
He put up about 2K and
like he was the only weapon, not the only weapon, but he was like the guy on that offense, and that's really what helped with that situation. I don't think Marvin Harrison's going to have that situation in Ohio State. They've got so much talent there, that position.
I'm interested to see what they do, what happens at quarterback for Ohio State.
Yeah,
it's been so stable for like the last. It feels like forever, in my opinion.
Yeah,
like you always know who the starting quarterback's going to be for Ohio State
until the end of the year.
Off the top of my head right now, I can't. I'm sure Tyler knows, but I don't even know who the starting quarterback's going to be for Ohio State.
Dude, what's wild, I think he's looking it up right now. He may know, but I feel bad now because I've looked it up twice to see what the quarterback battle is looking like and stuff like. I can't remember either one of their names right now.
It's not just
Kyle McCord, I think is the guy's name.
Yeah,
he was a high school quarterback of Marvin Harrison Jr.
Okay, so I'm sure he's probably 5-star, probably like a top 3. Okay.
Oh,
so and is he going to be a sophomore?
Either that or I think so.
But having your high school quarterback,
there we go. That makes my prediction even better.
There you go. Hey, you heard it here first on ESPN Northwest Florida. Marvin Harrison Jr. for Heisman. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs. You're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. If you play fantasy football, text 850-215-6290 with your name, your email, and your availability for August 26th at 11 a.m. We're going to be right back.
ESPN Northwest Florida presents the Blasted Bay Point.
We talked to Alan Watson at Golf Plus, and the new TaylorMade GTX putter has been flying off the shelf. How many have they sold thus far?
I'm going to go with 91.
That is too high.
Keep listening to win the Blasted Bay Point on ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Tuesday. Mostly clear skies tonight with a calm wind around 2 miles per hour coming out of the west-northwest, and look for the low to be 80. Tomorrow morning there will be mostly sunshine with the temperature reaching 90. Mostly sunny in the afternoon and evening with a high of 90. Thursday will have a high of 90 and mostly sunshine. This weather is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Golf is a game that should be fun, but to have the most fun, you need to play your best.
That's where the experts at Golf Plus come in. Their friendly staff will guide you through the buying process, answer all your questions, and can help with any repairs you need along the way. Golf Plus is your custom fitting, club repair, and golf retail shop. Golf Plus staff is non-commissioned and will work with you to find the best product for your game, just like they've been doing since 1988. Golf Plus in Dothan and Panama City Beach. Fitting, repair, retail. That's Golf Plus.
Hi, this is Matt Lewis with Reliable Hydraulic Solutions. We offer comprehensive diagnostics and repair service for all types of hydraulic units, such as hydraulic and pneumatic cylinders, hydraulic pumps, motors, and valves, as well as a broad range of hydraulic hoses and O-rings. Give us a call at Reliable Hydraulic Solutions at 850-326-3000 for any of your hydraulic needs.
Visit their new location, Highway 77, south of Tractor Supply.
Don't call it a podcast.
Frequency modulation is a big step forward in radio.
Broadcasting live from the world's most beautiful beaches. The Afternoon Underdogs on ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we're back. You're riding with the Afternoon Underdogs, and you're listening to ESPN Northwest Florida. I guess we're gonna table our Pac-12 preview, Tyler. We're gonna move that to next week.
By the time the conference championship rolls around, we'll get it done.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the best way to actually do it is when we know what's going on. So then we sound smart at that point. We'll do the Big 12 the week after the Big 12 championship. That way we know it's all laid out perfectly, and we'll be good to go. Now we'll get back to this next Tuesday. We'll finish up the Pac-12. Do you remember where we left off in the Pac-12?
I think we got through Oregon.
So we got through Oregon, so just a little over halfway, maybe.
A little under.
Little under halfway.
We'll talk about it. It's okay.
I think we might have gotten through Oregon State. I remember that.
Did we? We may have.
Yeah, I didn't fill out any more beyond where I'm at, and I can't even find my paperwork. So even if we wanted to do that as a segment right now, it would not be happening. But don't forget your Atlanta Braves tonight taking on. Oh, it's all good. We're gonna get back to it next week. Atlanta Braves, Boston Red Sox. Coverage starting at 6. First pitch tonight at 6:10. We're gonna move over to the AFC now, do our divisional champs for that, and then talk a little bit about comeback. I think Comeback Player of the Year is one of the more intriguing awards this year. I mean, you've got the DeMar Hamlin situation, but there's so many other players that are actually going to be on the field.
Till you said that, I didn't even think of it. I mean, if he plays all 17 games, I feel like that's already locked. Who was it like 3 or 4 years ago? We knew going into the season, no matter what.
Was it Alex Smith?
Yes.
Yeah, Alex Smith
was going to win.
Yeah.
So
and so I guess I'm on the fence with that, right? Because if he's on the field, I think that's a great story, and it does, I guess, give you a run at Comeback Player of the Year. But if you've got a guy like, Jonathan Taylor let's say Jonathan Taylor bounces back with like 1,800 yards.
Yeah.
But you would think that the voters still are going to go with the storyline rather than the statistical line, right?
It's always about
100%.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not saying, it's just, I wish it was more based on the field as opposed to other stuff, but I get 100% why I get it. I'm not saying it. I don't understand. I just can't say I agree with it necessarily.
Yeah. I mean, it would take like a crazy, and I'm just throwing it out, like a Baker Mayfield throw for like 4,000 yards and 30 touchdowns, and they end up winning the division type thing to not give DeMar Hamlin the award for next season.
All right, so DeMar Hamlin right now is minus 500. Then Tua and Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson, Tua, those are quarterback positions at plus 200.
I don't see how you could do Tua.
Plus 2,000.
I mean, he still played, 12 games last year?
I agree with that as well. Like, I would take DeMar Hamlin over Tua with a resurgent year, even with all of the concussions and stuff. But, I mean, if you saw Tua Tagovailoa play 17 games in a season,
I'd just be more shocked than anything.
Right.
Honestly, if he plays 17 games, he'd be in the MVP conversation with the numbers that he was
had the numbers that he was having.
He was having numbers last year where he was mid-season. People were talking about him, Mahomes, and Allen as the 3 top dogs for the MVP award at that point in time.
It might be the year of the lefty. I mean, look at Blake Harmon winning the Open Championship as a left-handed golfer.
Oh, man.
Hey, here we go, Tua. And the Dolphins.
You'll be happy about that, right? I root for Tua. I have nothing against Tua.
Yeah, no,
He's
absolutely.
An awesome guy.
I think sometimes because I'm an Alabama fan, and you know what I mean? Like, I don't overtly cheer for, or like behind the public eye. Like if I'm not talking on the radio, like, yeah, of course, that's my guy. But I never, like, you can ask Kyle Wright this, before he ever got to the league, when he was still playing with Alabama, I always said, I don't think that he is going to turn out to be a great NFL quarterback, not because of his talent. The guy I remember the first touchdown pass I ever seen him throw when he was coming in garbage time playing against Vanderbilt. Yeah, and he just like a little spinorama, a little Johnny Manziel type stuff, and made a great pass out of it. And I was like, that's dangerous, but I can see that you have enough confidence in your arm to be able to make that throw. So that's cool and all, but I thought the injuries, I don't care what we say about the SEC. That's good and all. There's some merit to that, but the SEC is not the NFL. No. And so if you're not lasting with the SEC or the Big Ten or college football in general, you get to this level, and these guys are faster. I mean, it is like playing Monsters, Inc.
The defensive line are just as fast as the quarterback.
Right, exactly. So,
let's see Lamar Jackson in the field.
Well, how about Lamar Jackson as a comeback player of the year? I mean, he again played 12 games. Yeah. So there's that
I
as well.
feel like you have to, like, I know Jonathan Taylor only played, 4 games last year, 4 or 5 games.
He's plus 3,500.
I feel like it's got to be not always a quarterback award, but because most of the time the MVP award is always a quarterback award. Mm-hmm. But if you had a really, really bad year and then you just have a resurgence year like Geno Smith, you almost locked to win it in.
Yeah. What about Cooper?
Cooper Kupp is...
I think he played about 8 games too.
Yeah, plus 2,500. What about Foster Moreau?
Oh, yeah.
Tied in for the Saints. He's sitting at plus 3,000. But are they... Is he going to
get got Jimmy G, so they don't...
Yeah. I mean, but Kittle, you know...
Yeah.
Over there in San Francisco, I'm saying Jimmy G was throwing to Kittle a lot, so maybe he goes over to Foster Moreau, and him beating cancer and all of that's a really good story. But I think because DeMar Hamlin was in... And again, if DeMar Hamlin comes out and plays 4 or 5 games... or something like that, I totally disagree. I'm not with, okay, I know that you had your moment and all that, and we're all extremely glad that you're living and playing football again, which is really cool. Yeah. But I don't think that deserves comeback player of the year.
Now, if he comes out and has like a Pro Bowl type season or All-Pro type season,
then it's
like that would be deserving.
I don't even think he's got to have
the award after him.
Yeah, right. If he has Pro Bowl type season, you name the award after him to some extent, or figure out a way to make it even more so special. But outside of that, I think that he can just have. Now, would I vote for just a run of the mills type season? No, but
because he was only a rookie last year, because he had just got drafted from Pittsburgh.
I don't think
was it his first year?
I think it was his second
year. Because he was the starting safety at the point in time. So I mean, he was making decent plays. So
he's 25. So I think that was
second or third year.
Yeah, second year.
Okay.
2021. So it was going to be it was the second year.
It was second year going in. So
still, I mean, still a very young guy, and to be up against that situation and then to come out in a sense on top and to pause the sports world, not just the football world, but to pause just to pause everything like that, almost to the degree that COVID did, and obviously I'm like, those are two different things.
Yeah, but
apples and oranges.
Like, everything was stopped and everything was paused. Like
in the sport of football, like to stop football, COVID didn't stop football.
No.
You know what I mean? It stopped everything else, but football is like, no, we're not, especially the NFL. Like collegiate football was it was a little touch and go and all of that good stuff, but the NFL said, you think you'll stop us? We'll play games on Tuesday. We'll play games on Wednesday. We'll play games every day of the week to make sure we get
fans, 10 fans.
It doesn't matter.
Cardboard fan.
Right, say cardboard fans.
I tell you what, if I'm Buffalo though, I don't know if they play their first home game. If the first game of the season's a home game, DeMar Hamlin's coming out. And he is going to pump that crowd up so much.
I mean, their first game back, Nyheim Hines, who just had the unfortunate accident the other day with the jet ski accident, which I want to ask you guys about that. We kind of had a little conversation, but the Bills are going to open up on the road against the Jets this year for some Monday Night Football.
Oh, that's going to be
that'd be a fun game.
I believe September 11th is Monday, right? If not, it's Sunday Night Football.
I'm sure. September 11th, he said?
Yeah. It would be Monday Night Football because our next game's September 17th, so that would be 6 days down the road. Yeah. So, wow, what a Monday Night Football. That's how we get started. Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen. Aaron Rodgers looking like the little alien off of the Jetsons. You seen him with his new helmet? Wow, his old school helmet on. Oh, man, that's wild. With going back to Nyheim Hines, but in the game that they came back and he ran the kickoff back for a touchdown, and Jim Nantz with the call there. That was absolutely amazing. But with the injury that he sustained, do you guys think that the NFL, should they treat jet skis like motorcycles, like where if you've got that in your contract, you can't ride motorcycles? Caveman Rick had brought that up yesterday, and I think I understand where he's coming from, but I mean, we're talking about a guy who was stationary on his jet ski as well, and then one of the people who they could have been running away from a shark, they could have not known what they were doing or whatever, ran into his knee there. I just think anything that's a leisure activity, like even snowboarding and skiing, you can get hurt eating. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can't protect them from themselves all the time. You get hurt
driving to the facility in your car, right? Accidents are accidents for a reason. I mean, sure, could teams put that out there? Yeah. Are they going to get guys to sign with them in free agency? Probably not, because these are people too. We tend to forget, athletes are people. They want to be able to do normal everyday activities just like we do. And granted, a lot of people could get in an accident and work in a chair from their office, and obviously he can't. But and it's just an unfortunate accident. I don't think they're going to do anything about it, and I don't think they should. I think these guys in their off time should be able to enjoy it how they want to. I mean, I think there's a difference in motorcycle and jet skiing as a whole. And I wouldn't necessarily go skydiving or anything about those guys, but I think they should be allowed to enjoy their time, though. I think that's my thing.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on vacation, you're there to have fun. You're not there to just stare at the water, lay in a low lounge chair, anything like that. You're with your family. You want to do some fun things, some fun different activities. The only thing I would say is in different type of contracts, I wouldn't want my player playing pickup basketball. I wouldn't want him going to the gym and just playing pickup basketball with a bunch of random people, going to play with Adam Sandler, anything like that.
Yeah. Yes. Would y'all rather allow DK Metcalf to play in the All-Star Celebrity Game or whatever it was he played in, or allow him to go? Because he was in the owner didn't know that he was playing in that game until he saw it on TV.
Just a softball game, though, right?
No, it was an All-Star basketball game.
The NBA All-Star Weekend. The Celebrity Game. He was in that.
Because we just got done with the Celebrity All-Star softball game for the MLB game, so that's what I was saying. It's not as but
you
with
hit
basketball,
the ball, you kind of jog.
With basketball, even when you're going it's not like the NBA All-Star game. Those guys know how to take it easy and still put on a show. Yeah. Whereas for the All-Star game, even
some of these celebrities want to kind of,
they want to show off what they got. And if you're DK Metcalf and you got all them muscles, why not?
He was dunking, and there was a couple people under him where all he had to do was slip, fall, and they won your season. They went into an ACL.
I wouldn't be surprised. I would rather see them on a jet ski than playing pickup basketball for sure. But I wouldn't be surprised if Nyheim Hines in the future has, and it sucks, but has contract stipulations where he can't do certain things.
I'd be highly doubted at this point in time that he has a career after this.
You think so?
I think his season. I think he's just getting up there. I think he's just getting up there in age. Nothing to do with the jet ski. I think he's older. He's wear and tear on his body. Kick returner, punt returner. Running back. So I would be highly surprised if he's playing the NFL.
This is his 6th or 7th year in the league. So you're talking a running back.
And he's always small. I say small, but smaller for a running back. His statue's not very big. So.
And he's a shiftier type guy. Yeah, you gotta
lose that speed and
that burst.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go to the AFC here, and we'll start with the AFC North, which could end up being the tougher division out of all of the AFC divisions, even though we all of us last year, it was the AFC West. There wasn't a single question.
Yeah.
And then it didn't turn out to be that way. So maybe, then there was a lot of questions. So maybe we could be looking at the AFC East right now and being like, oh, this is the best division. And maybe it just doesn't pan out like that.
Yeah.
I don't see it happening like that, but we'll find out. We'll start with the North here. Definitely a competitive division. Barrett, who do you think wins the AFC North?
AFC North, man. I've always think that's the most physical conference, the most physical division. I mean, you have 4 really, really hard teams. I think Cleveland's going to be a lot better this year. I think they're going to get about 9 to 10 wins. I think we'll see the old Deshaun Watson with the weapons that he has. The Bengals are the Bengals, Pittsburgh's going to be Pittsburgh. They're going to be 500 or above. But I like the Ravens. I like what the Ravens did in the offseason. I love Todd Monken coming in there. And I think you won't see the same type of Lamar Jackson, the read option. I mean, he's still going to run. That's still going to be his game. I think you're going to see a lot more passing. I think you'll see about 4,000-yard passing year from Lamar Jackson.
Let's go.
I think Odell will have about a decent 800 to 900, and I think they have the offensive rookie of the year. I think Zay Flowers is going to be about 1,100 to 1,200-yard receiver. So I got the Ravens winning that division.
I like it. What about for you, Tyler?
No, I like a lot of what Barrett said. I think Tomlin can go in there the way he can use Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. And then on top of OBJ, Flowers, and if Bateman can stay on the field and stay happy, I think that could be a really fun offense to watch. But I can't buy Lamar Jackson's durability right now. I mean, he's missed games down the stretch when it's mattered most, and until he stops doing that, I'm not going to bet. I'm going to put the Bengals in there. I think they got the best quarterback in the division. They've got one of the best trio of wide receivers in the league, and I mean, they've improved that offensive line. The defense does enough to kind of help them win games, and I think as of right now, I don't trust Deshaun Watson, Kenny Pickett, or Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I like that, and I'll almost, if you didn't go with the
Barrett
Ravens,
about talked me into picking the Ravens. In the middle of his thing, I was like, oh man,
I was gonna go with the Ravens, but I was like, and then when I started to think about Lamar Jackson as much. I mean, dude, if he comes out and throws for 4,000 yards this year, that'll be great. And then you're sitting there, and Lamar's already one of the top quarterbacks in the AFC. Which, like, what is it? Ryan Tannehill the worst quarterback in the AFC? You know what I mean? I'm being slightly facetious, but there's some merit to that. Just because, and that's not a knock on Ryan Tannehill. That is a look how good the quarterbacks in the AFC are. And if Lamar comes out, throws for 4,000, then, I mean, golly, how do you even rank these guys? I'm going to have to go with the Bengals right now at this point, too, because I don't have the faith in Deshaun Watson. But, man, I think it's going to be I think it's going to be a four-headed race.
The playoffs, when the Ravens play the Bengals. The Ravens literally had them beat if
what's his name catches the ball.
Not even that. If the homeboy doesn't try to do a quarterback sneak and try to go all superhero on it. I mean, Huntley. It was first and goal. Huntley, Mr. Pro Bowl Tyler Huntley.
Pro Bowler Tyler Huntley. Yeah, forgot about that.
And they're just so physical. The defense is probably the best in that division itself. And you honestly could pick any one of the four, and it's not a big argument, really, in my opinion. Any one of the four have a chance to win it.
Well, we're going to get back and we'll get into our AFC West, the South, and the East. If you play fantasy football, send your name, your email, and that you'll be available for August 26th at 11 a.m. right here to 850-215-6290. We're going to keep it rolling. Keep it locked in here to ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Rob, how's it going?
All right, guys. How are y'all this morning?
We talked to Alan Watson at Golf Plus last week, and the new tailor-made GTX putter has been the hottest seller in their shop. How many have they sold so far?
I'm going to shoot for 72.
That is too high.
Weekday mornings 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Tuesday. Mostly clear skies tonight with a calm wind around 2 miles per hour coming out of the west-northwest, and look for the low to be 80. Tomorrow morning there will be mostly sunshine with the temperature reaching 90. Mostly sunny in the afternoon and evening with a high of 90. Thursday will have a high of 90 and mostly sunshine. This weather is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Sizzling hot weather is here. Time to go shopping in some nice air-conditioned surroundings. I know just the place, that boot store. Ooh, it's nice and cool in here with a scent of real leather. Sweet. The Western surroundings and huge name brand selections will make you want to buy 4 or 5 outfits for the whole family, from the smallest to the largest. And why not? Their prices are the best in the area. Open Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 5. Friday and Saturday, 9 to 5:30. Remember, God is good all the time. That boot store next to Billboard Kia, 15th Street, Panama City.
At Bay Breeze Bait and Tackle, you can find all the necessary items for an unforgettable fishing experience. From pin rods and reels to the best hand-tied rigs in Florida, we have it all. With the help of our friendly and knowledgeable staff, you can be sure that you have the right gear to make that big catch. Come experience a great local bait and tackle shop located directly off 98 on the west end of Panama City Beach, located just 5 miles west of Pier Park.
They said it couldn't be done. The Afternoon Underdogs are live.
They say it can't be done.
Are we going to do what they say can't be done?
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's time now for the Blast at Bay Point. We're looking for caller number 10 at 850-215-6290. The phone lines are now open. Looking for caller number 10. If we don't have a winner now, your next opportunity to win high-low will be at 8:40 in the morning on the Coach James Hale Show. If we don't have a winner there, you're not going to have another opportunity tomorrow because the Inside Drive is going to be out there at Dave & Buster's and the Afternoon Underdogs, which is going to be a really cool situation going on out there tomorrow. It's the VSN, which I'm just now learning information about what's actually going on out there. It's the VSN, the Varsity Sports Network, and you're going to have like 18 schools out there representing counties all around Northwest Florida. Bay High is going to be out there. I don't know what all other players are going to be out there, but a lot of high school athletes from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. tomorrow, and they're a lot of college talent is going to be out there. So we're going to be trying to grab some interviews and whatnot. But if you guys want to come out there, hey, Dave & Buster's, you're going to have the VSN, which is the Varsity Sports Network out there. You're going to have the Inside Drive from 11 to 1. I'll be out there pretty much all daggum day tomorrow. From at least...
It could be worse places, right?
Oh, no doubt about it. I don't mean that negative at all. Exactly, because normally I only give myself once a week, if that, I'll go play a little milk jug toss, and we'll get right back to that. Lynn Haven Rob, it's time to play a little high-low. We talked to Alan Watson at Golf Plus last week, and the new TaylorMade GTX putter has been the hottest seller in the shop. How many have they sold so far? Go ahead, Lynn Haven Rob.
I'm gonna try 69.
You're gonna try 69. What do you got there, Randy?
That is correct.
Man, Lynn Haven, Rob with a 69, the first time that someone has won on a show that's not the Inside Drive. All three of our previous winners won on the Inside Drive there at 1240. So Lynn Haven, Rob, you just won. You and a guest 18 holes at Bay Point Golf Club. How excited are you right now?
I'm excited because I'm going to go play. I haven't played in a long time, and I want to go play the Nicholas course.
Just let me know when our tee time is, and I'll meet you over there.
There you go. We'll just get with Ryan, and we'll have us a damn tournament.
There you go, man. There you go. You're going to love it. I was out there. I've been out there twice in like the last 6 weeks or so, and they take such great care of that course. And it's also when you pull up, they come up. The car guy comes up to your car, gets your clubs out of your car, buckles them up and everything. And if you're bad at golfing and they know you're bad at golfing, then they hook you up with 24 golf balls that they found in the ponds.
I know a couple of my friends that need those.
I played that course when they first opened it up, and that was when you had to go all the way down at the highway, head over the water, and if the wind was blowing out the west, you could not get to the green. So it's a par 3.
Oh, with a par 3, that is it's setting you up for bogey right there, huh?
Oh, yeah, you couldn't get to the green, and that was I can't even remember. I think it was like number 15, but it was way down there on the backside off of the bay.
Yeah.
But it's been a long time since I played out there, but I'll enjoy it.
Yeah, you absolutely will. Well, just do me a favor real quick, Lynn Haven Rob, hang on the line, and Randy's going to grab some more info from you, and we look forward to seeing you pick up your prize package here for 2 rounds of golf. Well, you and a guest are going to be playing 18 at Bay Point Golf Club. Thanks so much.
There we go. All right, appreciate it, guys.
Yes,
Thanks.
sir. Lynn Haven Rob, big winner right there. And your next opportunity to play high-low, perfect timing, because now, we're not taking calls when we're out there at Dave & Buster's, so you didn't have an opportunity at 12:40 or 5:40. Now your next opportunity is going to be next Monday at 8:40. So congratulations to Lynn Haven Rob getting the job done. And I believe he's also won a large bucket of range balls as well, which means he's going to get a little practice before the round and everything. It's going to be great stuff, and we appreciate all that Bay Point Golf Club does for us out here. Make sure you're tuned in, guys, to the Coach James Ellis Show from 7 to 9 a.m. and then the Inside Drive from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Great local shows right here on ESPN Northwest Florida. And again, I'll probably say this one more time after this one today. If you do play fantasy football, text your name and your email and your availability for August 26th at 11 a.m. to 850-215-6290. This is only our second day of having this opening up, and I've already got a league and a half filled, so it's filling up fast. Make sure you guys get your text in, because once we get to the second league full, I'll get one more league, and after that, though, I can't just keep on building these leagues, because it takes a lot of work, man, and especially with me trying to type fast, and then I have a typo on someone's email, and then I got to reach back out to them. Did you get the invite? No, I didn't get the invite. What's your email? Oh, I messed it up. My bad. So here we go. It's a lot of fun, though, and it's going to be, as Tyler mentioned, as Barrett mentioned earlier, it's going to be a lot of fun, man. Those live drafts, there's nothing like it. Fantasy football is great, but when you're playing fantasy football with a group of people that you could become friends with, and we do try to at least once or twice a year get out to a certain place, a sponsor of ours, and just, it doesn't matter which it is, just go to a sponsor and watch some football games together and stuff.
Yeah. Nothing better, for sure.
All right, and nothing better than just being, 44 days away from the NFL and 38 days and some hours away from college football right now?
Can't wait till week 0.
Goodness gracious. Yeah, right? Can't
week
wait till
0 games.
Well, how about week 1, though, for college game day? I believe it's week 1, right? It's not week 0.
The Battle of the Carolinas.
Yeah, South Carolina,
That's a really good
North Carolina.
game, I think.
It's going to be interesting to see what in the world college game day looks like this year.
Oh, yeah, with old Pat McAfee there now, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was there last year.
But he's the lead person now.
Is he going to be the
I mean, he sits in the middle chair now.
But no David Pollock, you know, and then when we get to draft time with no McShay, like, it's like next year's weird. It's going to be different.
They had to pay a lot of money, so they had to get rid of a lot of people.
So there's only 14 weeks of college game day, essentially?
Yeah.
It was close to there, 14, 15. Will Colorado get will Colorado this year host a college game day?
No.
And you got the schedule right there. So is there any that they're hosting that, because I think they got USC.
USC, if things go crazy for Colorado and they're 4-1 at that point, in a tie game against Oregon, maybe that's their only opportunity, though, right? Yeah, basically.
Yeah,
it's basically the only. I'll
say no.
Yeah, I would say that's easy.
I feel like they're going to be 1-4 or 3. No, 4. Yes, 1-3 by the time USC comes around.
I don't think it's looking good for. I only got them for 3 wins all next year.
I mean, Colorado State, I feel like, is the only win that they can have within the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. Arizona State, maybe. For those,
watch them come
I don't
out
see
and
Tennessee.
Just smack TCU in the mouth. Watch.
Who knows if Deion's even going to coach the whole year?
Yeah, I mean, that's the other issue right now. And man, you hope for those kids. You hope for Deion. You hope for college football that he's there on the sidelines, but you want him to be, at least close to 100% health and not hurting himself further, so that it
I
messes
really
up the
want to see
future.
what he can do. I don't believe it.
Yeah,
but I want to see it.
Right.
Like
I don't want health to be the reason why he doesn't succeed. I'm not saying I don't want him to succeed, but I would hate for it to be one of those what ifs, like, if he hadn't had this medical issue, what would he have done?
It will be that if it's based on the medical and not, exactly without us being able to see. All right, we left off on the AFC West here. Ooh, Kansas City Chiefs for me, that's pretty easy.
Yeah. Actually, yeah.
I
can see the Chargers at least if they can stay healthy. But I still don't believe in Stanley.
What about Sean Payton and the Broncos, though? Like, any love
Payton's
for that?
no better than Mike McCarthy.
Okay.
One Super Bowl.
I think I disagree with that one. I think Payton's better than McCarthy.
I don't think it's very much. Like, I actually went stat by stat, and I know stats can always be overwhelming. Right. They literally must have the exact same win record. They have the exact same Super Bowl and almost the identical playoff record. He has very, very little success in the playoffs with the type of offense that he runs.
What do you say back to that?
No, I mean, I'd have to go. I don't know.
Well, yeah, no. I know that. I'm just saying. It seemed like you were saying you were going to give your argument before the stats came out.
No. I mean, I just think what he did with Drew Brees and everything. I mean, McCarthy had Brett Favre, and then he went into Aaron Rodgers. So like, and it's nothing against Drew Brees, but I think Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers will go down probably historically better than Drew Brees. And I think the NFC North for the most part was an easier division for a lot of his run.
I think for me the separator is Sean Payton was there during Katrina, right? And the bounce back. I think that's the separator for me, is like just how special it was to the city of New Orleans. But at the end of the day, if one is above the other, I don't think that one is head and shoulders above each other, like maybe an eyebrow. No. You know what I mean? Like that. So, and if I were to have one coach my team, see, that's the thing, is like we haven't lost Mike McCarthy, right? He's gone nowhere. He just went from the Packers to the Cowboys, right? Whereas with Sean Payton, he's taking a little hiatus and everything. So there's all that mystery in a sense of like, well, I mean, he won a Super Bowl with the Saints, so why couldn't he do it with the Broncos? And the biggest overwhelming question is Russell Wilson going to be what he was in his first 3 to 4 years with the Seahawks? And I mean, does he have capability of a time machine?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're going to really figure it out. I mean, I don't think the offense is anywhere close to what it should be. The offensive line's pitiful. The running backs, you have no idea if Javonte Williams is going to be healthy. The wide receivers, minus Jerry Jeudy, are pretty much bottom tier. I mean, you can say you like Sutton, you can say you like Tim Patrick, even Mims that they drafted from Oklahoma, but they're pretty. I feel like they're the worst, the third worst team. You always got to forget about the Las Vegas Raiders. But yeah, I think we can all agree Kansas City's going to win that division.
Kansas City across the board for the sweep. We'll go to the AFC South. What do you guys got there?
I actually got a sleeper pick. I mean, I like the Jags, but I think the Colts are going to win the division.
Okay.
I like the hire for the offensive-minded coach.
Yeah.
I think he's perfect for Anthony Richardson. Mm-hmm. Look what he did with Jalen Hurts. Look what he did over in Florida. Not Florida. He went somewhere else and had a really, really good connection with a different quarterback, a running style quarterback. I don't think AR was start.
Was it Kyler?
Was it Kyler? I can't remember off the top of my head. It was another like dual threat type of quarterback that no one thought that could actually just throw the ball. All he could do was run the ball.
Right.
I think Minshew will still eventually start the first like 2 or 3 weeks. I think you're sprinkling a little AR-15 with some goal line carries, some read options here and there. But I got the Colts winning the division.
What about for you, Tyler?
No, I like Jacksonville. I like long term the idea of AR in Indianapolis, and I think what they could potentially do with his abilities. I just think year one, it's too much for him.
This is when I need the R. Kelly music to play about my mind's telling me no, but my heart's telling me yes. I think that it's going to be the Jaguars, honestly. Like, my mind pick would be the Jacksonville Jaguars, especially with the addition of Calvin Ridley. I think Doug Peterson in year 2 with Trevor Lawrence. In year 3 for Trevor Lawrence, this could be that explosive year.
Year 2.
Well,
first year didn't count.
Yeah. No, and I'm 100% cool with that. But how tough that rookie year was for Trevor Lawrence maybe makes him grow even more so.
For sure.
So I think it's going to be the Jaguars, but we're too far away from the regular season for me to say that. Yeah. Tennessee Titans it is now.
I'd be disappointed if you didn't pick the Titans a little bit, honestly. Like,
Mister, you think how long do you think Tannehill starts?
I don't think he's a bad quarterback. If he's healthy, I think like the other two options are just nowhere near close.
DeAndre Hopkins went over there. I mean, I know he went there for the money, but he's still a stud receiver. You have him and Derrick Henry. I think Vrabel's one of the best elite coaches, especially game day stuff.
I just wish he could get on the field for our offense every now and again and kind of play tight end for us.
Because, I mean, you guys didn't have anything last year. And you guys were in games against Kansas City. You almost beat the Jags.
With Malik Willis, we almost beat the Chiefs. Joshua threw for like -2 yards.
Dobbs hadn't played in 2 years?
He was working for NASA.
Yeah, you saw him the last 2 games against the Cowboys, and then you almost beat the Jags with him. I mean, I don't blame you for picking the Titans. It's not. I don't think it's a homer pick.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is a homer pick right now because I think that the Jaguars are better.
What he's done the last 2 years, you're not off base giving him the benefit of the doubt either.
Right. Like if we had picked, let's say that they took Will Levis like 5th overall, or we would have had to move up. But let's even say that they took him at 10th overall when they took Skoronski. Yeah. Then I think that you cannot go into this season with Tannehill as your starting quarterback. No. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to draft a guy that high, he's got to be your guy, and you got to know he's going to be your guy. So to me, I think it's going to be Tannehill, but if the offensive line is not that good and he's trying to scramble around, we know that high ankle or the ankle is susceptible to high ankle sprains. And then the question really becomes: is it Malik Willis round 2 or is it Levis?
Levis.
Yeah,
I think they.
You don't take Levis if you're going to play Willis.
You don't. I think the Malik. Why is Levis even on the? I mean, Willis even on the team right now?
Just for lead options.
Yeah,
and he's on a rookie deal.
There you go. Well, we'll see. But why? Okay. Well, I guess because you were playing for a playoff spot, but why did they bring Josh Dobbs in? Like, the writing was on the wall with them very early on with Malik Willis that it wasn't going to work. So I really don't know why he's a part of the roster right now.
He might not be.
Go ahead. Training camp.
Yeah. It might be one of those cuts.
That is absolutely true. Man, time flies when you're having fun, and that's going to wrap it up for us here today on the Afternoon Underdogs. Don't forget about the Coach James Hale Show. That's going to be live at 7 in the morning, running until 9 a.m. Then the Inside Drive with Ryan Mulvey, Jay Henley. It'll be out there at Dave & Buster's from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. And then we'll wrap up your afternoon tomorrow as well out there from 4 to 6 p.m.
I got the Bills in the AFC South.
Yeah, AFC. It's gotcha.
Oh, East, I'm sorry.
I'll record that for sure. And then also tell any listeners out there, if you want to play fantasy football, send your name, send your email to 850-215-6290. We are out for today. Y'all have a great afternoon. Buckle up. Be safe out there.
The 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida app version 2.0. Now featuring ultra high fidelity. You'll feel like you're in the game.